All right. Can we go ahead now? Meeting is now streaming live. Okay. Okay. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing this beautiful Saturday morning? Today is the 17th of June, 2023. And today is finally here. You're welcome to the Association of African Startups Tech Summit. And of course, I understand that, there are a couple of our participants that, participating from different parts of the world. From Cape Verde, I know it's still in the morning, so good morning to you from Cape Verde, or from Nigeria to Cape Verde, good morning to you. And of course, I understand it's 11 a.m. at Central African time, so good morning. And I know that for those of us from the Eastern Africa, it's afternoon already, so good afternoon. But either way, to all of our participants this morning, we say welcome once again to the Association of African Startups Tech Summit. And today promises to be an amazing time. And of course, understanding the dynamics of startups rising up right now in Africa and having to come together to be able to make Africa a continent of choice, knowing that when we come to Africa, we can be able to partner, collaborate, and ensure that our continent is top of mind all over the world. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, who is this lady speaking right now? My name is Jadisola Adeodun, but I'm fondly called Lady Jade, and of course, I'm going to be your moderator for today. And I'm really delighted to do this, and I'm really, really looking forward to, connecting with people in the chat section. So please do well to, say good morning in the chat section, participate. Now, a few ground rules. Please make sure that your mics are muted in the course of the conversation so as not to distract our speakers when they're being called upon to speak, because it's really important that we're able to capture every word and everything they have to offer for today. And of course, I would like to, in as much as when I'm on virtual events, I understand that it's a mix of different kinds of people. And I understand that there are people that speak French, Portuguese, Swahili, Aramaic, but I mean, I'll try to appeal to my French audience. So bonjour to our French audience, and of course, bom dia to our Portuguese audience as well. And for those of us that speak Swahili, please apologies, but just know that we also mean well right here at the Association of African Startups Tech Summit. And of course, without wasting much of our time, and to our early participants, we say thank you for coming on really early. So I'd like to see you say good morning. Oh, okay, all right. So we have please when you're introducing yourself, please your name and where you are participating from. Okay, please for starters, pardon me, please, your name, good morning, and your name and where you're participating from. Okay, so I have Oluwakin from Scotland. Welcome, Oluwakin. It's good to have you here. Good morning, Shay Ogebule. Yes, good morning. Good to have you on the call this morning. Of course, Mrs. Just Omomo Ibe, thank you. She's participating from Nigeria, definitely, of course. So please do want to introduce yourselves in the chat section, which I'll be looking at, and just to ensure that we are all together. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Mrs. Just Omomo Ibe for the opening remark. Ma'am, are you ready for us?
Yes, but I think the opening prayer is meant to be taken first. Did I miss that?
Yeah. Okay, no, you definitely did not. Okay, so I'll take a quick word prayer, and then Miss Ibe will just take up from there. Okay, so let's pray. Lord, we thank you for today. We're grateful because today is the day that you have made, and we'll rejoice and be glad in it. And Lord, we ask, oh God, that even as we begin this summit, that Lord, we ask for wisdom and open hearts, and that we're able to draw as much wisdom from the panelists, and that whatever is being shared, we're able to use it for our businesses and to create formidable teams to strengthen our continent as a whole. Thank you, God, for in Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen and amen. Okay, ma'am. Please put your hands together if you're not too busy. And of course, you can put up your emojis in the chat section to celebrate the one and only Mrs. Just Omomo Ibe. So, yay. So if you can,
Thank you very much, Lady Jade. Thank you very much, every single one of us who's joining from all over the world, those in Africa, those in the diaspora. We truly are grateful to have you all join this morning. My name is Just Omomo Ibe, and I am the second president of the Association of African Startups. Last year, we started our maiden edition for the Tech Summit. The idea is to position African entrepreneurs with the requisite skills and knowledge they need as far as using technology to advance their business endeavors, whether it's within the continent or outside the continent. And so this year, we're taking it even further deeper to see how African entrepreneurs can leverage artificial intelligence and blockchain to improve their work, improve their productivity, and literally improve the overall outcome. Because once we're able to help African entrepreneurs get this result, then we're certain that we're able to help you truly achieve your core purpose as African entrepreneurs, which is partner with us to rebuild the African economy. And today's theme is artificial intelligence, leveraging artificial intelligence and blockchain technology. I'm just going to attempt to speak to it from my understanding. I may not be an artificial intelligence expert, but I do have a couple of understanding of what this is about. Artificial intelligence is composed of two words, artificial and intelligence, where artificial means, if you're not speaking, mute your mics. Thank you very much. Please, if you're not speaking, mute your mics. Where artificial defines man-made and intelligence means thinking power. So artificial intelligence simply means man-made thinking power. And if you understand that as human beings, we actually haven't used 2% of the capacity of our brains as human beings. So it's almost as though we have thinking power embedded within us as humans, but it's almost difficult to be able to tap to the best potential of this human brain. And so scientists or tech people decided, we're going to attempt to assist you, do the thinking so that you can get better results in life, in business, in every area. So it's safe to say that artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science by which we can create intelligent machines which can behave like humans, think like humans, and make decisions like humans. Core word here, make decisions, because the overarching goal of being able to leverage AI is to use it to make business decisions that move the needle of your company forward, whether it's in terms of revenue, whether it's in terms of productivity, whether it's in terms of creating new products and services, or whether it's in terms of even deepening your market penetration. So artificial intelligence can only exist when a machine has human-based skills such as learning, reasoning, and solving problems. So that means that we are living in a world, or we are going to exist in a world perpetually, where machines will help us identify problems, solve the problems, and help us create systems that will mitigate such problems in the past. I think that's a place where everyone needs to clap their hands, because it feels as though God in his magnanimity is enabling machines assist us get better results here on earth. I don't know if that's in the right language, but whatever that is. So it means that artificial intelligence is trying to create systems that can exhibit intelligent behavior, learn new things by itself, demonstrate these new things it has learned, explain them, and then advise you on how to use what you have just learned. So we are in an era where we are in the knowledge economy, and every company, whether it is private, local, and whether it is private, whether it is a corporate, every single person is thinking about how to improve the capacity of their workforce, so that you find that you have employees who are able to intelligently articulate problems, demonstrate how these problems would affect the company's overarching growth, and then advise the company on what they must do to make sure this doesn't continuously affect them. And AI is trying to say, I know you want to do that with your employees, but I want to help you make it easier. And that's why we're having today's conversation. AI is so important because it will impact how we work, how we do business, vis-a-vis the kind of products that we create and distribution of these products. It will impact productivity, customer experience, sustainability, and legacy creation. That's to say that if you find that you are struggling with leveraging the humans you have within your organization to be able to automate the systems that enables continuity, sustainability, customer experience, then you can begin to partner with AI to say, let me set up this system so that there's a seamlessness with customer onboarding, there's a seamlessness with the experience, and there's a seamlessness with the sustainability of service delivery, or even sustainability of product creation. In the midst of everything going on with artificial intelligence, blockchain, the Internet of Things, My major concern today is how does this affect positively or negatively our ease of doing business within the continent and on a global scale? As far as I'm concerned, to record big breakthroughs with AI and its derivatives, you really need to pay attention to what I'm about to say. My biggest fascination with AI is big data, its analytics, and how it influences our business decisions, thus affecting our productivity, our profitability, and sustainability. My desire here is that one of our speakers will speak very powerfully to how big data can be harnessed to truly leverage or get big results in our continent, as far as entrepreneurs are concerned. So as an entrepreneur who is listening to me today, the basic things you must begin to ask yourself is, with AI, how can you use AI to truly deepen your understanding of who your customer is? Where are they? What are they spying at as a deep desire? And how can you take all of these informations and consistently create solutions, innovate with these solutions, so that at every point in time, your products and services are an arrowhead hit per time? I'm going to take this again as I wrap up. As an entrepreneur, how this affects you is, who are your customers? Where are they? What are they spying at as a deep desire? And how can you take all this information to create solutions that hit them as an arrowhead? These are the core questions you must ask. And in you able to determine the answers to these questions, you would find that by partnering with artificial intelligence and everything that is the derivatives of AI, you will be able to leverage it for better solutions. You'll be able to leverage it to be able to, at every point in time, create cutting-edge innovation that will serve as an all-time need for your customers. The essence of you being in business is having customers who love your product, who need your product, and who would continually want to patronize your product. And AI can help you achieve this. My hope today is that you wouldn't just stay in this class as another nice to hear class or nice to have class, but you will begin to think about how everything each speaker is saying is able to help you now in your business. You must begin to think about it in that context, to say, I will sit in this class, and at the end of this class, I will take action steps as to how this will move the needle in my business forward, starting from today, so that the idea of the knowledge is you can implement it and it can move you further within the next 3 months. Thank you everyone once again for joining today's Tech Summit. I know that at the end of this Tech Summit, you'll be more than equipped, you'll be more than transformed to on how to use AI, blockchain, and all its derivatives to be able to move your business further. Once again, I want to say thank you to all our distinguished speakers who have gathered from all over Africa, all over the world, to help us have serious conversations around this. My prayer for you is that God will continue to bless you, God will continue to reward you. And to our dear African entrepreneurs, I love you with all my heart. Welcome again to the Tech Summit 2023. God bless you.
Please put your hands together in the comment section. I mean, we know that we cannot omit them, but please let your emojis do the celebration in the comment section, please. All right, okay, well done, ma'am. That was really powerful. And one of the things that really stood out was, understanding that you need to know your client, how they can receive what you offer, because if you don't understand your target audience, how would you be able to provide the right solution to meet them per time? Once again, let us celebrate Mrs. Just Momo eBay once more. I can see all of your celebrations in the chat section. Thank you so much. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Okay, all right. So right about now, I believe that Dr. Sheyi is ready for us. And I believe that she's on the call, right? Dr. Sheyi, ma'am, are you, let me see you raise your hand just to be sure that you are on the call. Okay. Okay, fantastic. So fantastic. So I'm going to bring up Mrs. Dr. Sheyi Ogebule right about now. And I mean, whilst I was going through her profile, I was in awe as to how a woman is so solid. I mean, you're such an inspiration, ma'am. And please, a few ground rules, please let us make sure that we mute our mics. Okay, ma'am, that's fine. whilst you're sitting up, I'm going to go on with your introduction. Please, a few ground rules again, in case you're just joining on the call, please do well to ensure that your mic is muted if you are not permitted to speak. Okay, once again, please let us ensure that our mics are muted, because that would help us to have, a more harmonious, understanding of whatever is being said. Okay, so and then there's no distortion or there's no distraction. Thank you so much. All right, so whilst Dr. Sheyi is trying to set up, I'm going to read up. Mr. Mark, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please let us ensure that when we come in on the call, let us mute our mics. Okay, so moving on quickly. Now, Dr. Sheyi Ogebule is an exceptional and versatile visionary, widely recognized for her strategic leadership and unwavering dedication to harnessing power of technology for positive and transformative outcomes. With an impressive track record of over a decade in engineering and an impressive track record, engineering research and technology initiatives, she has consistently demonstrated her expertise and ability to drive innovation in the tech industry. As a distinguished product manager at a Fortune 50 company, Dr. Sheyi spearheads the cutting-edge development of computer hardware with a specific focus on visual compute and artificial intelligence applications at the edge. Dr. Sheyi's educational background includes a doctorate degree in chemical engineering from Hood University and a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and Mathematics from Alabama A&M University. Demonstrating her commitment to continuous growth and professional development, Dr. Sheyi has further honed her skills through the Product Management Leadership Program at Product School Silicon Valley in California. Currently enrolled in the esteemed Visionary Compass Accelerator Program, VCAP, in Lagos, Nigeria, Dr. Sheyi Ogebule remains a driving force in the tech industry, continuously embracing visionary leadership while making a lasting impact on her field and society as a whole. So it's safe to say that Dr. Sheyi is visionary, and she, like the Genesis will say, she's a Texas. She's a bona fide certified Texas. Are you with me, ma'am? So please, if you know that your hands are not too busy, please in the chat section, let us celebrate the one and only Dr. Sheyi Ogebule as she takes us through the practical ways SMEs can integrate artificial intelligence in their daily business activities for optimum results. Dr. Sheyi, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I'll use this opportunity to do a mic check.
You're
Can
good.
you hear me fine? Okay, perfect.
Loud and clear. Over
and
to
then
you.
I will go ahead. I will need to share my screen. If I could get permission for that.
Yes, I'll make you host now so you can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, perfect. And in true technology fashion, let's see. Okay, I just want to make sure you see my full screen and not like a partial screen. I just want to make sure that you're all set here.
Your screen is clear and we can see your
Full
slides.
screen. Okay,
yes.
Perfect. All right, good morning. Good morning. It's what time is it here? It's about 2:24 a.m. I am doing my best to look like I have slept all night, but unfortunately that's not the situation. However, I'm very, very excited to be part of this program. I've been looking forward to it. I'm also here to learn. I know I'm one of the speakers, but I'm actually really here to learn. I would welcome comments in the chat, any sort of communication. I would appreciate feedback from the audience as well. But just a brief overview. I like technology, and just as was said, I am a Texas. I don't know how I got there. I was a child that grew up thinking I would be a lawyer or a doctor or one of the careers that our parents pitched for us. but I'm here today, and the journey is very interesting, but not for this conversation. So I'm happy to talk about it anytime. So today I have the opportunity to talk about the practical ways SMEs can integrate artificial intelligence, AI, or as my mom would call it, almighty intelligence, in their daily business activities for optimum results. As Mrs. Just said, the purpose of using AI is for us to be better in our business. It's not for fun and games. Of course, there's that use as well. There's for entertainment use, but we can leverage AI to actually get more out of your business. You know, regardless of where you are as a business, you must understand that there are opportunities for you to scale and to grow. And AI is just one tool that's coming along the way to help us get to that point. I know there's several myths about AI. Some are actually true and some concerns are genuine. And when people think about AI, they automatically go to robotics, robot arms, robots taking over the world, computers doing their own things. And these concerns are actually valid, right? Some of the people that have pushed for AI have also pushed for boundaries or things around AI to limit its use. So there are genuine concerns around AI. However, we don't live or operate from a place of fear. And just like everything that we have today, we understand that human beings can create things for good, but unfortunately, there are others that will do it for bad. You know, let's go back to history and think about when the internet became something that people have access to. And some people feared, oh, the internet meant the end of the world. And others started to do business and commit fraud using that same internet, right? So is the internet a bad thing? It's just like a conversation. Is money a bad thing? There's so many things that they're neutral, and it depends on who's using them. And so that's what I hope to communicate and get across today is how can you begin to look at AI differently, to not fear it, and to really look at it from a business standpoint and see what can I get from my business? What else can I squeeze out from my business? And how can I get help from artificial intelligence? So a quick overview, I will try to define AI. It's a very interesting thing to define, and you will find lots of definitions out there. But I will make an attempt to do that. I will try and talk about how we can simplify it for integration for business uses. I like to be practical, and that's part of this discussion as well, is what are some use cases and how can some businesses start using AI today? And then I will also touch on AI cloud services, and I'll talk about why it's so important to also embrace cloud as we're talking about artificial intelligence. So this screen here is just a tiny amount or a few AI apps or tools that have been created over the last maybe 10 years, even maybe the last 2 years. Does anybody recognize any of these icons? Oh, and I can't see my chat, but okay, I can see my chat. Does any icon here look familiar to you? Keyword, there's one that's really popular. Nowadays, when you say there's one tool, the whole world thinks that's all AI.
You do your outline.
Oh, I think was there a comment? Okay. So I intentionally took the color off, but this tool right in the middle here that looks as if it's a circle or a knot is ChatGPT. And if I get the opportunity and I have the time, I may even do a demo, because there's no way I can have this discussion and not touch on ChatGPT, because nowadays that becomes synonymous with artificial intelligence, even though artificial intelligence has been there for a long time. However, there are so many tools. It is overwhelming. And day by day, people are beginning to deploy additional artificial intelligence tools. So the question becomes, so is AI, we understand we need it, but has it become a distraction, or is this truly a disruption? And now it depends on where you're looking at it from, right? So it is a distraction, of course, if you are unaware or you don't have any idea what's going on in that artificial intelligence space. But if you can hone down and just figure out what's happening, you'll realize that it's truly a disruption and here to make things better. And I give an example of our cell phones. If you look at your cell phone, I know that you have several apps that you don't use today, but you have them, right? So the picture I showed where I had all the different apps is exactly what my cell phone looks like. I have, and I can scroll through several pages of apps. So at one time, I figured, they may be useful for me and I want to use this app. And then later on, I decided that I don't use them. But if I look at my phone, there are probably only 5 apps that I use. My Gmail app, my WhatsApp, maybe booking airline tickets. They're just about 5. But on my phone, I probably have close to 100. And that's the same thing with artificial intelligence. We realize there are lots of tools being developed. However, we also know that there are only a few that would make sense to us personally and also from a business standpoint. So what are the concerns about an AI? Is artificial intelligence going to replace jobs? People are concerned about that. And so when I'm asked whether or not AI will take jobs, my answer is yes, it will take jobs. It should take jobs, but not in the sense that it eliminates people and leaves them doing nothing. It just means that now we have new tools to learn and we have new types of work being developed, right? So it's no longer maybe a particular job. Back in the day, somebody had to go and do certain things on the farm. Nowadays, you have a machine that does that, right? But a person has to drive that machine. So yes, AI is here to replace jobs. However, it's also here to create more opportunities, because as we become more productive as business owners, there will be more opportunities and there will be more work. It is really here to assist. And we better treat it as a disruption and not get carried away by the distraction of the many apps that are being developed nowadays. So with that in mind, I want to talk about definition. I've said AI, and Mrs. Just has also talked about what artificial intelligence is, but it's really a science of making machines smart. One definition, right? And machine learning, on the other hand, is the practice of teaching machines how to learn. So if you look at this diagram here, artificial intelligence is a wider umbrella term used for making machines smart, right? They've looked at human beings and they've said, okay, human beings are intelligent. How can we make the things we create to be as intelligent as the person who created it? That's really what this is. And so machine learning is a subset of AI. So I want to give an example that based on what I read this week. As you know, Apple, they had a conference several weeks ago where they talked about their latest gadgets and what's coming up on their roadmap. And a lot of different companies have been doing that. The Googles, the Amazons, they've talked about Microsoft, they've talked about artificial intelligence, they've talked about OpenAI, they've talked about AI, and all the companies are talking about AI. But Apple goes out to the world and talks about the next generation of their laptops. They talk about their chip that they've developed. They also talk about this Provision virtual reality sets that they've developed. And they don't mention the word artificial intelligence. And the question is, wait, does that mean that Apple is not taking part in artificial intelligence space? Is Apple absent? And actually, no. Apple did not use the word artificial intelligence, but guess what they did? They used the word machine learning. So is Apple doing AI? They are doing AI, but from a marketing standpoint, they're just not saying those words. So AI, and I use that example to say that AI is really pervasive. Every company is developing, a big tech giants or tech companies are building tools and technologies around AI. They may not want to call it AI, and from what I understand, the strategy from Apple is, some people have a wrong or false connotation of what AI is, and some people are afraid of AI. So they've just went away and decided not to call it AI. They've just called it machine learning, but we're all saying the same thing. And then there's this word deep learning. Oh, and deep learning really sounds deep, but it's another breakdown of AI. And this one is specifically based on using neural networks. Without going into definition of what neural networks are, let's just think about it as they looked at our bodies and how the brain works and the neurons within our bodies and said, wait, let's make machines to operate that way. And that's what deep learning does. Deep learning really gets to the next level because it's very powerful for things like understanding language or looking at images and figuring out which one is a cat, which one is a dog. And then there's a whole umbrella term of data science, which spans the entire space. right? And data science is very powerful. I have a data science background. At one point, that's all I liked to do. It's really about finding intelligence from the data that all these systems are generating. And of course, big data is right in between. So I hope you can see here that all these terms are connected in some way. AI is really an umbrella term. It's existed for several years. From what I've read, it's been there since 1950s. And there was a scientist that coined the term, and he figured that, no, let's make something smart like human beings, and maybe by 1980, we'll have a machine. But it's taken a lot of years to get here. And the reason why is because we've lacked the compute power. So for AI to work, it requires hardware, it requires those computer chips. And if you know the story of computer chips, they really started around maybe the early 50s, and they've developed to where they are today. So even though we had the idea or the technology back in the 50s, not everything was ready. And that's really the same also in business, if you think about it. Sometimes you have the idea, but your timing is just not quite right. Or sometimes you have the idea, but the full potential cannot be realized until you have some extra tools down the way. So just a lesson, an AI definition. So what I want you to take away from here, I don't necessarily have to even remember the definitions. Like I said, AI is all over the place, and depends on who you ask, you may get a different definition, but understand that AI is really an umbrella term for some of these other terms that you'll begin to hear, like machine learning, deep learning, data science, big data. All right, so moving on, let's talk about the type of, all right, the AI personas. And this is important because even as business owners and SMEs, we fall into one of these categories, and sometimes multiple of them. So there are people who say, AI, I want nothing to do with AI. But it's very, very difficult to find somebody, except, for example, most people have cell phones around the world. And one thing that a lot of cell phone companies will make you do is, especially if you're like an Android user, is you set up your cell phone using a Google account. Once you set up a cell phone using a Google account, you get a Gmail, which is for email. And then that automatically gives you a Google Drive, which is now a storage space. Now that has some AI capabilities built into it as well. So whether you like it or not, you're beginning to tap into AI. And sometimes, or maybe lately, you've seen that when you're typing or an email, it will even suggest to you what you should say next. Like it can read your mind. It's miraculous. Right? It knows that, I respond to an email, thank you, Tass, I will be, and it automatically suggests a word. And I have to say, oh, wow, that's exactly what I wanted to say. I will be attending this summit. So whether I like it or not, and because of the amount of people that have cell phones and have these cell phone apps, we have a lot of users that don't know that they're users of AI today. And number two is where I'd like to focus, and that's where I'd like us to stay in this discussion, is active users. We know AI exists. We intentionally set out to use it. We understand it, or we know the potential it has, and we look for ways that it can benefit our business. And that's what I'm calling the active users. And number three are the facilitators, the people that help move from a knowing to an active user, or the people that help you deploy your AI solutions if you're creating from scratch. And of course, number four are the developers, the very important people that create all these AI solutions today. So I will be focused today, and I'm hoping everybody here is an active user. If you're not, I hope I've convinced you that whether you like it or not, you're probably an active user, because first of all, you're on Zoom or you're on YouTube. So that means you have the access to the internet. So likely you're probably using some AI tools without even knowing that you're doing so. So when describing AI, I've also noticed that there's several words that companies use. You'll hear AI-driven. Okay, so AI-driven, this means it's guided by these AI algorithms. These do this, don't do that. These complex computing scenarios that help to drive this machine learning thing, right? And it's automated. So that's AI-driven. You also hear AI-assisted, and that's where Google Analytics comes in. If you have a website or you have e-commerce space, you can use Google Analytics. So they'll call it AI-assisted. So it incorporates AI. It wasn't designed for AI, but Google and tech companies, knowing the potential, have incorporated AI to it. You also hear things like AI enhanced, okay? So Kissflow is like a productivity tool for businesses. It does some process flow systems. They use AI to enrich or to make their systems better. And then you also hear things like AI supported. And when I looked this up, I was surprised to see Microsoft Teams. So Microsoft Teams, similar to Zoom, is pretty much used for communication. And of course, it can do much more than just what we do over Zoom. And one thing that I've noticed, for example, and I can actually see that AI support is there's now a feature called a coach. So in a meeting like this, at the end of the meeting, I get a report. It tells me how many how many how many ahs, how many maybes, how many so's, how many repetitive words that I use. It also tells me my pace. Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? It also tells me if I was in a monologue, just talking in a monotone voice, and I just kept dragging. It does all of that at the end of every single meeting. That's amazing. That's powerful. I've been part of the Toastmasters Club, which is a public speaking club to help become better at public speaking. And what we will do in those meetings is that somebody will be in this meeting and the person's job is to count how many R's you said, how many. And now we have a tool that will do that for you, eliminating the role of that person. So that's just another way that AI is being integrated and we don't even see it, because I think I'm taking a meeting, but now I have this AI supported features that are helping me as well. And there's also this AI integration. Just another example as well. Wealthfront is a portfolio money management system. It has this robo-advisor piece where it knows all your money, where your money is coming from, because it's connected to all your bank accounts. And then it will tell you, well, you invested in this fund. By the way, this fund is charging you, $1,000 every month. Do you want to eliminate it and find something that's charged you less? So it gives you all these suggestions. You didn't ask it to do anything. You didn't even probe it. All you did was connect your systems. And all of this work is doing this for you. So I hope you can see that this adjective is really beginning to tell us the value that AI is playing in our world today, and how we can become businesses that are AI driven, AI assisted, AI enhanced, AI supported, or even AI integrated. There is so much potential, and I'm sure if you look up online, you'll find many more adjectives to describe how AI is being used. So let's talk specifically about unlocking the business benefits of using AI. So first of all, we know that if you are a business and you begin to incorporate AI, or perhaps you brand yourself as AI supported, it begins to show and has this perception that you're innovative, right? It means that you found a way to integrate AI into your system. It also gives you a competitive edge. If I go and position myself and say, hey, I'm able to do something manually, versus someone that says, oh, I have an AI system that's giving me XYZ results, it makes me appear like more serious in some cases. Of course, I can't generalize there. There's also the scalability and adaptability benefits of artificial intelligence, because one of the benefits, one of the ways is that you can get rid of repetitive tasks, you can do some automation, and you can scale that, and you can transfer from system to system, so it's easily adaptable. And right in the middle, we cannot forget one of the reasons why AI is so important is, as a business, you want to do more with less, or maintain your status quo, but improve your output. And so you can increase your efficiency and productivity, and you can unlock that in your business using artificial intelligence. And of course, there's customer experiences. There's several ways that we can improve and get feedback from customers. So I was part of a project where we would go to a customer meeting, we'll talk to them, and somebody will write down the notes. And the notes will say, I like your product A, I hate your product B. Can you do this feature in 3 years? And somebody will write down the notes. I will get all the notes, I would type them, I would read them, and I will say, okay, we spoke to 100 customers, here is a common theme, and I'll put it in an Excel sheet. But now with AI, I don't have to do that work anymore. And I can imagine the amount of insight and feedback I've missed because I was reading that information one by one. And maybe I had an urgent deadline. I would skim through it and say, okay, the customer feedback is that they want AI in the next generation. But with an AI tool that's doing this now, I don't have to do that work. And it can probably do it better than me because it's not rushed. It can do it much faster and more efficiently. And so that way we can really see what our customers are saying and find ways to improve their experiences. And let's not forget that last but not least is cost reduction. When you begin to see ways to improve efficiency, you also begin to see ways that you can reduce your costs. You see how you can optimize your business flow, and you can also see how you can allocate people to things that actually really matter and have the most output in your business. So these are just some of the benefits that we stand to unlock by using artificial intelligence. And I want to go into practical ways now and different use cases, how either a business that we know has used AI or how in general SMEs can use AI and what are those tools that will begin to unlock these benefits for us. So let's take a look at Flutterwave, which is a very popular fintech company based out of Nigeria. So this is a case that you will find on the internet. It's not even top secret. Before 2021, they had risk and compliance operations. So risk and compliance essentially looking at, for example, things like fraud detection or anti-money laundering. They had a manual process to look through all that data, and they had people staffed to do that. And sometimes these people were available or had to be available 24/7, just so they can be able to identify fraud. And the problem is that sometimes, because again, this is done manually, there would be false positives. So meaning that I, for example, I'm situated in Lagos and I go to Ibadan and I swipe my card or I use the Flutterwave system, and it flags me and says, oh, fraud. And I just went somewhere that I've always been to or something like that, and it flags me and it says fraud, and maybe it shuts down my account. So they were getting a lot of false positives, again, because this process was entirely manual. So they partnered with a company called Unit 21. Unit 21 provides it's an AI-powered, again, the adjectives here, AI-powered tool, and it provides a no-code tools for risk and compliance teams. And the result, and this is something that was actually said by the risk and compliance officer, it says they had a drop in false positive rate of 14%. And this is for fraud alerts that they were dispositioned through the system. Now you may look at that number and say, oh, that's low. That is significant. In other words, meaning that number of things that were flagged as bad when they were actually good was only 14%. And sometimes the industry standard can be as high as 95. So it's success rates. So when you have something that low, it means that your customers will probably be happy. So imagine if I was that person going between Lagos and Ibadan and getting flagged as fraud. I would be extremely upset. I may get rid of the app. I may delete them. I may not want to have anything to do with them. And not only that, I would tell my whole family, I'll tell my whole neighborhood, right? So that's how powerful small things like that can be for a business. And not only that, by using this AI-powered tool, they were able to improve resource management. Now, the people that had to stay up at night manually processing that were now moved to other areas of the business that were more important. And now they also had automated decision-making. So they didn't have to be there all the time to say, yes, no, yes, no. It was automated, it was an easy flow, and they moved resources and used resources in a better way than they did before. So this is a success example for a common company. But popular, sorry, not common company, they're not common at all. But let's take a look at how this would apply for an SME in the retail space. And retail meaning here product business, right? It could be product or services business, meaning that you create something, you design something, or you get inspiration and you design a product, you find a way to create it or manufacture it or even purchase it for resale. And then it goes in your inventory and you have to manage it somehow. You want to be able to sell this, so you have sales and marketing deployed on it. You also have customer support attached to that as well, because you also want to see and make sure your customers are happy with your product. And by all means, you have to be on social media. So you have something on social media as well. And at the end of the day, you have a production efficiency cycle. But let's say you are an SME and you understand the value of AI and you sit in that box, which I call the active users. So you know that AI is there, but you don't necessarily want to change your whole system and make it AI. I mean, for example, let's think about product design and inspiration. Your process may be different. You may go to God and say, God, what's the inspiration for this product design? So let's leave that there. Let's not give that to AI, right? For your inventory management, you're having some trouble there. So for example, because you have a lot of products and you have variations of the same product, for example, maybe you sell blue cups and you have blue cup, light blue cup, dark blue cup, different types of cups. And you have to manually input all the things that you're selling. It could be like an e-commerce website. But because sometimes this is done manually and there's errors, again, what happens when there are errors and there are issues? The customer will see maybe a blue cup, they purchase it, and they get a red one. So customers are not happy. Again, I keep on talking about customers here. I'm very customer-centric in my approach. I know the power of a customer feedback or a good testimonial. So if customers are not happy with that, that becomes a problem. Not only that, it also affects how you process your forecasting. Like how much do you need to buy? How much do you need to know in advance? What's happening in your warehouse? So you need a tool like that has inventory management. So you can say, okay, I've tried this by myself and we have failed. I add 2 people to the team, and for some reason, because we have so much goods, we're not doing a great job at inventory management and it's becoming a problem for us. So you can pick that box and say, fine, I will keep my existing system. I like how it works, but let me find an AI tool that can help to improve my inventory management system. So the goal here is, for example, the problem here is that your e-commerce posts were wrongly tagged. Things were tagged for shirts when there were pants, things were tagged for, combs when there were spoons. So that could be a big mistake. So that's the problem you're trying to solve. And you have said and you're determined that you only want to solve the inventory management problem with AI. So you would find a tool like View.ai, which has an AI, and this one is an AI powered tool. So what it does is that you would take a picture of whatever product is, and it would automatically tag it. It would say, for example, let's say it's a chair. It will automatically know, oh, that's a blue color, and it would put the specific color of blue. That is a chair. It would even go all the way and provide more specific attributes to fully describe your product, and something that you probably wouldn't do. So it has very rich attributes. It would tag so many facts about it. It would tag, oh yeah, it's a chair, but on the handle, it has this particular color. So it will go as specific as possible, and it will tag and keep that in the system. And now it will extract any information. For example, let's say there was a brand sticker on that chair. It would put that in there and copy that image and say, okay, great. There's this brand sticker on that chair. And so it's collecting a lot of data. And this is something that, of course, you didn't have time to do, because if you did, you wouldn't be doing such a bad job with your inventory management, right? So it's now doing all this work for you. And it's very easy and very simple compared to what you had before. And now you're also collecting data. So now you obviously get better and hopefully better customer service. Your customer reports will be much better. Your customer feedback will improve. And now you can start automating that data collection process. You no longer have to be in charge of this big Excel spreadsheets to collect all that inventory information. A tool is doing it for you. You're getting assisted by this tool. So that's just an example in the retail space. I talked about goods and services. It could be really anything that requires inventory, that collects data. You can replace that inventory management system with an AI tool. And there's so many different tools that can be leveraged today. So let's talk about free AI apps for every business. I wanted to talk specifically about free because there's a cost to AI. It's not free completely yet, and it depends on the tool or service. And one approach you'll find, and a lot of companies have embraced, is this freemium approach, where you start something by giving it for free, So for example, the popular ChatGPT, it's free, but guess what? They now have a tier where you have to pay for it. And of course, as with any business, the ChatGPT, sometimes it's slow, sometimes it locks you out. But if you pay for this, I think an extra $20 or so per month, well, you won't get locked out. You can use it any time of the day, and it's very, very fast. The difference is significant, right? So these are all different tools that every business can use. I want it to be very generic here because I know there are people in different sectors that cover different sectors, but these are general. This is like everything that every human being can use. And they're free today. And they all have, a few of them have next up level. Like if you wanted to upgrade, then you obviously have to pay for it. So ChatGPT is a conversational chatbot. In a way, and I put this there, it's better than a search engine. Right? So you think about your Google, you go in there and you search for what is the Association of African Startups. Yeah, it can do that for you, but much better. You have it as a conversation. The way you search for things on Google is very different from the way you do on ChatGPT. It's like talking to somebody that you know. Oh, I'm gonna have to charge my laptop. Sorry. Apologize. I hope my screen hasn't gone dark.
Your screen is still on, ma'am. Your screen is still on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you connected now?
Yes.
Okay, so you can continue.
Yeah. So that's what ChatGPT do. It's really conversational. And if I have time, I'll do a time check. I think I may be able to do a demo if I have time towards the end of how we can use ChatGPT. A lot of people have known that ChatGPT, just use it as a tool, talk to it as a friend, but it's so much more than that. You can actually tell it what you want it to be. You can say, ChatGPT, I want you to act as a business consultant. And you give it the data, and then you give it everything that it needs, and it can make recommendations. So that's how ChatGPT works today. Copy.ai is also another tool, and this is for social media content generation. So believe it or not, there are still people, and I think I belong to that club, who are just not gifted with social media content generation, right? And this is easy. I again, if I have time, I'll do a demo as well. But if you go to copy.ai, you can actually see how it works. You put in your ideas, it generates whatever you need to post on social media, and it does it for you. So someone like me who struggles, and that would take me a long time to do, I only have to give it my ideas, my thoughts, and before I know it, in 1 minute, something that could easily take me 1 hour will be done. I have 59 minutes to do something productive with my life. Right? So that's another a powerful tool I feel like every business owner needs to know about. There's also Flex Clip, and this is mainly for video editing. Video is one of the is a media type that grows exponentially, and one of the reasons why we build chips and all of that is because video content is, it's so powerful and it's big, right? So video editing is something that's very common as well. And so there's a Flex chip it offers you services to help with video editing. There's also Durable that I've recently found, and this one is a website builder. And again, as with a lot of these AI tools, they all promise results in seconds. Right? It's not even minutes. They all promise they'll give you a result in a matter of seconds. So imagine having a website built, and as soon as you put in all the requirements that you have, within a second you have your website built. Wow, that's very amazing. There's also this tool called Fathom.video, and this one is a meeting-like assistant. So imagine a meeting like this, and I didn't turn it on for this meeting, but you can actually turn it on for a Zoom call like this. It will actually record the meeting and it will summarize the meeting for you. So imagine I don't have to type my notes anymore. I don't have to go through a transcript of any recorded calls. All I can do is ask this Fathom tool to go ahead and give me a summary of the meeting. Wow. And of course, Google Analytics, I think we talked about how it is AI assisted, right? It can provide analytics and insights that you can use for your business. From this data and analytics, you can find out how your business is doing, who are your customers. Sometimes as business owners, you design and you plan things for people, and then you realize that, oh, the audience that actually likes it is very different from the one that designed it for. So a lot of that data you can get out of Google Analytics. You can see the traffic on your website. I remember there was a project I worked on several years ago where we wanted to know the adoption rate for a particular software that we deployed. So there was a particular tool, just think about it like maybe your Gmail. We wanted to know how many people kept using it. And what we did is we studied people's activity. So for every click and every movement that you made, we gathered that information. There was data provided. And then we're able to tell that, oh, okay, when they get stuck in this page, they'll never come back. And that is powerful information if you think about it, right? So now you have to go back and you have to redesign, because if customers get stuck in this page doing this one activity, they don't come back to your website. So imagine you're losing business and you don't know why, but now you can get those insights to be able to clean that up and make better decisions for your business. So these are some of the free examples. Feel free to take a screenshot and look up these tools. These are completely free. And of course, if you want to upgrade or get better services from these AI tools, you have to pay some extra money for it. All right, so I won't be able to do this yet. Let's talk about AI cloud services. We've spent some time, we've talked about AI, this big umbrella term for a lot of this technology that's coming out in the world. Let's talk about AI cloud services. And I know cloud sometimes gets confusing for people because it's like, what's cloud? You know, so my phone is what I would call edge or edge device, right? It's right here with me. I can take a picture and store it on my memory card. And then what happens is if my phone gets lost or stolen, that is the end of that picture. However, there are cloud services and my phone is actually connected to one. So what happens is I take a picture on my phone, it automatically uploads to Google Photos, right? And Google Photos lives on the cloud. You know, it's not a place, but Google Photos lives on the cloud. So in other words, if my phone gets stolen today, that picture is not gone. That picture is somewhere in this virtual world and I can get that picture back. And that's exactly what cloud services does. It allows us to deploy or to use tools that are not with us right now. They stay in a system that's somewhere, who knows where. And it's very, it's well done in such a way that it's easier for me to lose my phone than for something to crash wherever my photo initially went in the cloud, right? So my edge device is more risky compared to this cloud services and what cloud services provide. And so cloud services, there's a lot of things that it offers. For example, my computer, the chip needs to run for me to be able to even be in this meeting. But with cloud services, I don't need to use the chip on my computer. I can use one that's somewhere out in the world, right? And there are lots of brilliant ways that they have made to connect and to use these cloud services. For cloud services, we think about at least 3 big companies when it comes to cloud services. And those are the tech giants, the Amazons, the Googles, and the Microsoft. Those are the ones that have cloud services that they've deployed. We also have AI cloud services. So in other words, the same way we're able to store that photo in somewhere, I don't know where the Google server farm is, we're able to use AI tools as well. So one thing that I've noticed as well in my Google Photos is that I can take a picture of my computer and I can search my Google Photos and say, search for computer. I never told it the picture was a computer, right? But there's AI tools behind it that knows that it's a computer. Right? And that's what cloud services is. Cloud services is now taking things from your laptop, from your Excel spreadsheet, from your business book, and you're putting it in a place that's secure, it's safe, and it's scalable. And that's the most important thing. And if as a business owner, you want to take your AI to the next level, you want to go from just being a user of the app, now creating systems that can scale,
this is the money I gave you
then
yesterday.
you have to start thinking about the cloud.
Here? Take it, go.
So sorry about that. Can please, Mo Akamba, can you please mute your mic? You're causing quite a distraction, please. Thank you. So sorry about that, ma'am. Please go
No
on.
worries, no worries. Yeah, so you have to so you have to take it over to the cloud if you want to scale as a business. At some point, your resources will be limited. You will only have enough power on your computer as it's designed for, right? And if you want to grow as a business and you're thinking about the future, and you do accept that has come and AI has come to stay, then you also have to start thinking about eventually moving things from the apps that you use to now an AI cloud services provider. And so let me give you some other considerations that you should think about. So besides the fact that you need to scale your operations, when your data sets begins to grow, for example, you create videos and your videos are 1 hour long and you post them on YouTube, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And right now you use some tools, but you know this will continue and this is exactly what you've been called to do. So when that happens, or you have data that you collect from different customers, you collect every single activity that they do, and you have a camera monitoring system, that's a lot of data, right? And then of course, there's limited IT resources. How many people do you want to be in charge of IT? How many people do you want in your business? You know, at some points, you think, well, we have to stop hiring. So that's another consideration you should think about. And also, if you're looking for a one-stop shop for just tech services, right? We're talking specifically here because it's an AI topic about AI cloud services, but they're cloud services in general, that not just AI. So if you're looking for storage and you're looking for an AI chatbot, you can find them in the same space using the AI cloud services. So let's use an example. Let's say you're a lifestyle coach or you're a consultant, and you hear about this AI services or AI cloud services, and you're wondering, what's in it for me? How can I use it? So this is one of the things, so these are the areas that your business looks at. You have client assessments. So your clients either use an app or they do something. In that way, you assess your clients in some manner. As a business owner, you reserve the rights to do the assessment. And you said, no, I don't want this to go to anybody else. I, as a business owner, will review the client's needs myself. That's fine. And then maybe as part of your business, you have videos that you create, you encourage them, you share them on, and you do this as an organization, and you have lots of videos. So it's not AI. All you just want is a place to store your video. So you will use something in this case, and this case is specifically for Amazon Web Services, which is a cloud service provider. You use Amazon S3, and this will store your videos. Now, when you go to Amazon S3, you will not tell Amazon, well, I only need 12 gigabytes space. No, you don't tell Amazon anything. Amazon will take you as you are. Come with 0, come with 2, come with 1,000. It's scalable. You can come with anything, and there's no contract or no promise that I will only use up to 1,000. No, if tomorrow you wake up and you say, oh gosh, I need more, Amazon will let you do that, right? So that's what Amazon S3 will be for. So this is not AI, but you need a safe space for your videos. And then let's say you want to start processing some of the data you've been gathering, or even feedback to your videos. And again, you've had this business for maybe 10 years and there's so much data, but you think there's some insights and you want to know how your customers feel about certain words. Maybe when you say the word AI, what's the reaction? What's the reaction of your customers to the word AI when you say it, or when you
so sorry to interrupt you, Dr. Shay. Please, Aziz, can you please mute your mic? You're causing quite a distraction. Thank you. So sorry, ma'am. Please, over to you.
No worries.
Thank you.
Yeah. So there's a tool, and this is an AI tool. It's called Amazon Comprehend. It will do sentiment analysis on your feedback to understand your emotional being. So for example, you say, oh, Shay, how are you? I'm fine. Okay. Or Shay, how are you? Oh, I had a great day. Those are two different reactions, right? So with one, so no matter what I say, you can tell that, okay, something is wrong. I may have said I'm fine, but you can tell that something's wrong. So that's what this tool is designed to do, is to help detect sentiment analysis based on the data that you provide to it. And of course, customer support. Let's say you're so big now that you don't have time to talk about all the different requests that customers are looking for. You don't have time to even look at your phone because, again, you're a big business, you're growing, right? So there's also Amazon Lex. It's a conversational chatbot, right? Where customer is looking for something, they can type it in the chat on your website and they'll get an answer. And it's not from you, it's from this system that was built. Now, this is AI powered also by Amazon services. So again, the approach here, and I keep emphasizing it, is the idea is not that as SMEs, you just wake up tomorrow and just say, wow, I'm converting to AI completely. And by all means, you can if you have the resources, the time, and are willing to take that risk. But I just wanted to demonstrate a way of how you can slowly start thinking about different operations and different processes across your business flow and saying, these are the ways, and this is where I want AI to come in. And in this particular case, this one is for Amazon Web Services. Again, recommended fully, especially if you want to grow, you have potential to grow, then looking into cloud service is definitely the right way to go. And so there are a few things I wanted to point here, and this is almost like a checklist on how you simplify AI integration into your business operations. And the first is you have to understand your business goals, and then you must identify those areas where AI can add value. As amazing as AI is, it's not every area that it can add value because it cannot replace human beings. Again, it's designed with humans in mind. It's trying to mimic what humans do. It's taking inspiration from human beings, but it's not a human being, right? And so you have to understand your goals as a business and then see exactly where you can begin to plug in artificial intelligence. Of course, start small is the recommendation that I would make, except if you're able to go big, by all means do, but start small and then focus on specific areas that can benefit from AI immediately. And of course, as you do so, you want to monitor and evaluate. You can assume that AI will take care of your inventory management, but maybe it's causing more problems, or maybe it's missing something that it's not captured because it lacks the human experience, the humanness around it, right? So monitor and evaluate and see if this AI is really bringing value to your business. And again, you use AI for multiple different things. The value it can bring can go from decision support, from making conversations with your customers, from processing data, from even the Internet of Things with different sensors and gadgets around, collecting that information and giving you something that's insightful. Automating your processes. Again, automation is on its own is not AI, but there is, you can use AI to do process automation. On its own, it's not. I didn't put that in the diagram because it's not AI, but AI can be used to do process automation. So in summary, I provided some quick and very simple entry points for you to integrate AI. And the easiest way is to use existing apps, right? Existing AI apps or AI tools that exist that we have today, like the ChatGPT or the some of the other tools that we talked about, like the video one. So that's the easiest and the simplest way that you can do that today. There's a lot of potential in AI, and there's actually evidence, and you probably see different case studies, and that will keep growing, where you see that AI can boost your business operations. It can actually help eliminate costs or waste as well. And these services are also within our reach. And if you're looking to scale, then by all means, even if you don't want to use AI, but if you're looking to scale anything, I think cloud is the way for you to go. So with that, I'm going to pause and see if there are any questions. I'll actually check the chat window now, if you don't mind. So.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, Dr. Shea. Is God put our hands together in the chat section for Dr. Shea Ogibule, please? I mean, I believe that was quite an insightful session, I believe. And there are a couple of things that she said, but, one of the few things that stood out was, having to start small, regardless of where you are. Start already, but then, as you continue on your journey, just make sure that you evaluate, okay, what areas are visible for me to include AI in my operations. Please, once again, let us in the chat section put our hands together to celebrate Dr. Shea Ogibule once again. I'm waiting for our celebrations and appreciation on the chat section. I'm still monitoring. Nobody's putting their hands together. Oh my goodness, what's happening? Are we trying to drop our notepads to just try to type, or we're just saturated with so much information? Okay, now please, if you have any questions, can we just quickly put that in the chat session. Okay, thank you so much, Michelle Bello. All right, so if you have any questions whatsoever to ask Dr. Seyi Ogebule, just before we move to our next panelist. Any questions? Any questions whatsoever? Yes, and of course, I mean, whilst we're waiting for the questions to come up, I mean, one of the things that really interests them, that really, stood out for me was the different kind of, AI apps that can help you manage your, I mean, for me, it was the inventory, because I noticed that Google Photos do that a lot, where you put a picture and then it just gives you multiple options of what you can do with the picture, or where the source of the picture came from, or other people that have similar things. So for all of our entrepreneurs, watching and listening to us, please know that AI is actually going to help you to be effective in this 21st century. Okay, right. I mean, so I think that Dr. Seyi, you've actually done an amazing job, because Idara Ogufere said that it's simplified, and in fact, a 5-year-old can basically understand all that you said. So thank you so much. Please, once again, please put your hands together for Dr. Seyi Ogebule once again in the chat session. All right, okay. Thank you so much, everyone. And I believe that we're really having a good time, right? Are we having a good time? I want to believe. So once again, thank you, Dr. Seyi, for such an amazing time. And of course, everyone has learned and, having to understand that, yes, AI and of course, machine learning is one and the same. They're twins from the same mother. So it's just different names used, intermittently. All right, so moving on quickly to our next speaker. I mean, she's actually also one of our partners for today as well. And I mean, also going through her profile, in fact, I must really give kudos to the president of the Association of African Startups Tech Summit, because ma'am, you indeed brought power women up onto today's, tech summit, because it's really amazing when we have power women, championing in their different sectors, but of course, having to give value to people around them. So this particular speaker or panelist will be, talking to us on how to integrate blockchain technology in business operations. Her name is Mojisola Olawepo. She is an expert technology and digital technology enabler, leveraging the disruptive power of data and digital technologies to drive an ecosystem of the future and digital transformation. She has worked in diverse, extensive roles in the field of data, technology, and finance. She currently manages over 250 graduate members in data analytics, business intelligence, data engineering, and AI, representing diverse industries at Everything on Data. She also manages a diverse cross-functional data team, data science, data engineering, data analysis support, coordinating the delivery of data management strategies and data culture change across multiple business units. Mojisola serves as a technology strategist at Microsoft, a virtual CTO and trusted technical advisor, helping CROs, CTOs, and technology leaders achieve their business outcomes around the digital technology fields, including data and AI. She's also the lead technology strategist of a full-fledged retail bank in Nigeria, where she drove adoption of current technologies within business teams, business processes, innovation, improvement and automation, and data strategies for technology. She has delivered multiple data and AI business models and use cases in various industries, including financial, manufacturing, refinery, telecoms, and oil and gas. If your hands are not too busy, please move quickly to the chat section, and please an ovation and a round of applause, exciting emojis and just to celebrate the one and only Mojisola Olawepo. Please put your hands together. Put your hands together, make some noise, dancing emojis, exciting emojis. Oh my goodness, madam, you look so beautiful and lovely, by the way. Thank you for joining us at the TAAS Tech Summit today. And of course, just like Dr. Seyi had roughly, broken down in the most simple ways, helping us to understand the effect of the effect of AI and how it can be effective. But right about now, Mojisola would be telling us how we can integrate all of this thing in blockchain technology in our business operation, just making sure that we can do this, and then nobody has to hack our website. No one can, even if we have an integrated system, we can move on swiftly without any intruder coming to our systems. So Mojisola Olawepo, over to you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you. I will be sharing my screen now. It's so nice being here today, talking about technology, right? Actually, I love talking about data, but today I'm just going to be, I love talking about data more, but today I'm just going to be doing the blockchain day because I'm also a technical strategist overseeing various technology stacks and cloud computing, AI, and also blockchain and all. So first I want to say kudos to Dr. Sheyi. That was an awesome presentation, and maybe because everything you were talking about was just aligned to maybe my passion and things that I love doing. So I want to say very big kudos for that amazing presentation. It was like you shouldn't stop, and I'm really looking forward to maybe getting your deck after today's program. So without wasting much of our time, because I think I just have like 40 minutes to go, I'm just going to quickly talk about how we can integrate blockchain technology in business operations. So what methods am I going to be using to explain this? I'm going to make it as simple as possible. And I'll also speak to how we can also, infuse some form of AI on top of this, because as you already know, the future is data. The future, which is now, is data. And AI is here to stay, right? And as Dr. Sheyi said, there's so many job roles that are going to be eliminated. However, if you want to continue to remain relevant, you need to also align to the current future of work and the current future of technologies. And you also need to align to the technology that can drive what you currently do as a domain expert. So why jobs are being eliminated, something is not going to be eliminated. Those that can actually leverage the power of technology, the power of AI, the power of digital, basically, to drive their current role. Those are the people that will continue to remain relevant. So I was speaking to someone, I think some 3 days ago, and she was telling me, that I needed help. She was calling me all the way from the UK. I'm in Nigeria here, And she said something. She said, I just got this job and I'm an accountant. I've been doing this job for years. And I just got into the job and someone is telling me I should start doing some Excel. Just imagine a Microsoft Excel. She couldn't use it. She said, I'm used to, templates and solutions that can do these things for me. But why should I do this? I don't really put myself in that position to understand what data is. And I told her, if you are going to continue to remain relevant, if you need to be in that role, if you're looking at yourself being in that role and managing even more than what you're doing on top of that role, you need to start thinking about how you can understand and integrate or even learn AI data and see how you can, reimagine your role, because it is now important. There's nothing like I cannot do it anymore. Without wasting much of our time, I think I've been introduced already, but I'll just quickly do a small addition to what I was introduced to. Today, I'm the founder of Everything on Data, a global data platform where I train various people and individuals in the field of, sorry, am I sharing my screen?
Not yet, ma'am.
Oh, so sorry about that. I was sharing my screen. So sorry about that.
I'll let you know when that happens.
Okay. I thought I was sharing my screen already. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay. So you're sharing your screen now? Yes, we're good.
All right. Please, what can you see on my, I hope you can see.
Yes, we can see your slides now.
Okay,
please
fantastic.
go on.
All right, good. So I am the founder of Everything on Data, where I continue to inculcate the data experiences, data knowledge, from data analytics, business intelligence to advanced analytics, and helping people, reimagine themselves, reimagine their roles, reimagine themselves. You can do it. So that's my mantra for Everything on Data. And I also lead the Global Data Mentors team, which I also founded because I noticed that a lot of people will go through this particular platform, and yes, they still are lagging behind. So what I try to do is also to bring them up to speed and get other data experts in the industry to also do that same work. I'm also the founder of which is Women Global Education and Poverty Eradication Foundation. And what I do basically there is to help women, continue to think around, you can also do this also. Because a lot of women ask me, how are you doing it? You have kids, you have this, but you're still doing this, So my aim around what is to also encourage women, just like as I am, to also, push forward towards achieving these their technology goals, because I believe they can. So at the end of today's session, you're going to be having a clear understanding of blockchain technologies. You understand how blockchain technology works, the different types of blockchain, the benefits of the blockchain technologies, considerations to leveraging a blockchain technology, challenges for adoption of the blockchain technology, and how business and startups can leverage this technology. We'll be going through some global use cases, and definitely the final one, how AI is being integrated today into blockchain. Now, some years back, I think 7 years back, yes. I'm so sorry about this. I don't know why my system is. Okay. Okay. So some 7 years back, I had the opportunity of actually writing an article about blockchain. Then I was working in a financial institution as a technical strategist, and I wanted, because people were confused and they were always wondering what this blockchain was all about. In fact, a lot of people were mixing up blockchain with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin together. So I needed to come up with something very simple and something that was very easy to understand. Now, in simple terms, blockchain is what? Is a way to store. Just think about when you want to store and share information across a network of computers, across a network of people that have the same, that belong to the same chain of what you want to do. So I was thinking about, when I was writing this, I was thinking about, okay, a chain, a value chain. So for every businesses that we have today, we all have a value chain. Let me just say simply, we have maybe a producer, a wholesaler, a retailer, and we have a buyer. Imagine you putting this chain inside a platform, right? And everybody is in that chain. They are doing businesses, and they are not, there's nothing like an intermediary. There's nothing like a bank having to come in between and say, you know what, you need to fill all this form. But what happens is that because it's a technology that you get to see and be able to transact easily, what happens is that this happens, and you also have your information being stored immutably in that same system. If you need to go into it, if you need to fall back or roll back into getting or understanding what you must have already done in that block, it's very easy for you to do. And mind you, these ledgers are immutable and they are also encrypted. It's highly secured. That is what blockchain is all about. If for so many businesses and maybe fintechs and maybe startups that are going into businesses that feel that, oh, you know, I have a list of I have this value chain, this massive value chain, and I think blockchain is a technology that I think we need to use to be able to drive it, then this is it for you. I'll be talking about so much of that because really not everything has to be on a blockchain. You need to be prepared to think you want to go into anything that has to do with blockchain. Now, imagine a network of computers, right? All right, imagine a digital ledger that everyone participating in the network can see and verify, right? So nothing like I have, you know, I've gone into a bank to open an account and I don't know what is happening behind this. So the blockchain offers you that visibility to what you are doing and what even the other people on the chain, they are also doing, right? It is decentralized and it's maintained collectively by the network partners, right? Everybody there is a shared network. It links organization, people together, right? I am able to take care of whatever I have on the block, right? Now, each time a new piece of information, the piece of information which comes in is called a block, and it's added to the ledger, right? In this situation, I'm talking about the ledger, the block. So each time a new piece of information called a block is added to this ledger, it is linked to the previous blocks in a chain-like structure, right? This chain of blocks creates a permanent and transparent record of all the transaction of all your data entries, right? So as more and more information comes in, right, as more and more transactions are being done, these information come together into this ledger. They come together as a block of transactions called the blockchain, right? And now once a blockchain is added to the chain, or rather once a block is added to that chain, it becomes very difficult to alter or tamper with the information it contains. So some people might be wondering, oh, if I'm going to be in an ecosystem where I'm sharing information, or where I'm doing things, or where I'm buying and selling, or doing so many other businesses around my maybe startup, am I sure that someone else won't go there? Now that there's a lot of cyber security crime rate going up, am I sure that things like that will not mutilate my information that I have already? So, I mean, the blockchain is very, very, secured. It's extremely secured and is fraud-proof, right? So, and that is why platforms like major financial transactions like the Bitcoin or even cryptocurrency can be done on the blockchain effectively without it being affected. So how does the blockchain technology work? This is just a simple scenario of how a blockchain technology works. So this is AB Finance, is a startup, and in that particular solution or blockchain platform, we have two people already on the block, right? That want Frank and Lillian. Frank wants to send some money to Lillian. Maybe Frank is in Nigeria and Lillian is in Germany, right? And both are on the blockchain platform, right? So it's rather than him doing maybe an international trade transaction, right? And maybe go through all the stress of needing form, having to verify, do so many other things, or maybe if he has to change his naira to dollar or something like that, he can easily do it on the block, right? So what he does is he takes the transaction and
this
pick up the front transaction as a block. Like I said, now. So what is that? Sorry, is there any question?
Because I was doing to my cutting. No, now is later. I plan just see something to put on this window. So now will be later.
All right. So as I was saying, the details of France transaction is created as a block in that chain, because definitely that is not the first time that France must have been doing transactions leverage the A and B Finance blockchain platform. So what he does at that particular point, transferring money to Lillian, his record is now added to that block of transactions must have done over time. Now that transaction block for the transfer is now shared with everyone in the network. Everyone in the network would be intermediaries that on a normal day, maybe they were more like more siloed in a financial institution where you have to, start getting maybe like an API or integrating them to your system before it can work. But in this situation, they are already present there, and there's an approval that is done immediately, and even Lillian can see the transaction as it's moving from front until it gets to without Frank having to pay any transaction fees, without him having to do so many other things. So the blockchain is an amazing platform, right, that gathers everybody in that blockchain together. You guys are able to do so many things together without having you have to spend any extra cost to achieve your goal. Now, what are the different types of blockchain that we have? The public blockchain, which is quite popular today. I would say a democratic blockchain. The blockchain is for the people, it's by the people, and it's of the people. Anyone that having access to the internet can become an authorized node by signing into the blockchain platform.
Sorry, excuse me, Mojisola. I'm sorry to cut you. Kende Olashoko, can you please mute your mic? You're causing quite a distraction. Thank you. Please, over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have the private blockchain. Unlike the public one, there's a person who is in charge here and looks after things like read and write, whom access must be given to read. But I will just focus my attention on the public blockchain because that is quite popular, and we see a lot of it happening, even from the Bitcoin standpoint to cryptocurrency, even to organizations where I've seen, especially in the agri sector, I've seen some agri blockchain where you have everybody in that chain, more like an agri farm or something like that. You have everybody in the blockchain. Those that are, those that are the farmers, the retailers, those that are distributors, we have them on that block, and everybody is, And even those that are buying, right, buyers too, they are all on the block and they are doing transactions. Like you don't need to pay any intermediary. You don't need anybody to come and say, okay, please do this or don't do this, right? Blockchain is for the people, is by the people, and is of the people. When you think about that, that is what the essence of the blockchain that we see today. Now, what are the benefits of the blockchain technology? I think I must have said so many things, and these are some of the things which I think I've said before. It simplifies operation by reducing costs and time related to reconciliation and dispute. Your more traditional, I'm going to go back to a bank. Your more traditional bank, when you do a transaction, behind the scene, somebody is still trying to, reconcile those transactions, right? Maybe interbank transfers or interbank transactions, or a situation whereby if you want to maybe get something done, you have to wait for some 2 days, 3 days before it happens. So, for example, when I spoke about the international trade, and I said if I have to, do some form of international transactions in a bank, I will have to go through a lot of documentation, a lot of checklists. But when I'm on a block where I can easily do that, and I have whoever I'm going to be transferring that money to is actually there, I actually don't really need to do that. In fact, for a finance blockchain, I can have a bill change already present as part of the participants on that chain. So I'm saying, oh, I want to transfer to maybe Lillian, who is in Germany from Nigeria. It's easier to go through that route, right? So it eliminates intermediaries, right? I don't need a bank, right? When I can easily have it, when everybody in the chain is actually there. I don't need to start going to the markets to buy 1 or 2 or 3 things. When I have a blockchain that covers everything that has to do with everything I need to get in the market, right? I just do all that transaction, and before you know what is going on, before the next few seconds, I'm seeing a dispatcher that dispatching everything I need to have. It enables new business models, and I mean, once a new business model comes in, what that simply means is increased revenue and saving. You start thinking around, okay, now that I can bring everybody in the value chain into a blockchain or a blockchain platform, then I can now start thinking about other strategic things, initiatives that I can use to bring in more return on investment in that space. Now we have, I spoke about the access control, the cryptographic security. Now every transaction on the blockchain is encrypted. And what that simply means that it is largely secured. Like a blockchain is not a platform where people just, hackers just go into and they unmute. It is a very strong, it has a very solid security, security base behind it. Access control, only stakeholders can access their data. Like someone else cannot access your data. If you don't have the access rights, you can't even get into that space. Now, and also there is transparency. Everything about whatever you're going to be doing on the blockchain is transparent. Like you're not, you are doing a transaction that has to move from A to B or B to C on the value chain. It's seen by everybody in that chain and is visible. Nothing like, oh, I'm paying management or invisible charges or something like that. The blockchain technology is here to stay. And I can tell you that now a lot of organizations, they've started enabling this technology in their ecosystem. Now, what should a startup consider before leveraging the blockchain technology? The first is problem blockchain fits. You need to assess whether the blockchain technology is for you. Is it an appropriate solution for to solve the startup's problem, your problem as an organization? The thing is, the blockchain is beneficial for decentralized, transparent, and tamper-resistant application. You have to ensure that the problem statement of your organization aligns with the characteristics that this blockchain provides and is a clear advantage for you. The second is business use cases. You need to be able to define a clear business use case or what you want to use the blockchain to implement in your ecosystem. And you also need to understand how this technology will add value to improve efficiency, reduce costs, and also create opportunities in your startup. Now, the next is technical feasibility. You need to be able to evaluate the technical feasibility of implementing your blockchain. So considerations like, scalability, security, consensus of everybody that will be on your blockchain, data privacy, and also things around interoperability, right? So things like that needs to be put in place. The next, we have the cost benefit analysis. Is it going to be cost effective for me? If I'm going to be doing a blockchain, will the return on investment and the investment invested, what does it look like? You need to be able to understand, you need to be able to justify the investment of time and resources that you will implement on the blockchain, because blockchain doesn't come cheap. Now, you also need to take around the regulatory and legal considerations around that. You need to look at the ecosystem today. I know that in Nigeria today, we have regulations around the blockchain. What does it say to you, and how does it impact in your own type of business, right? Then user adoption. You need to also evaluate the potential user adoption and acceptance of a blockchain-based solution. You need to be sure that everybody or all the guys that you'll be putting on the value chain on the blockchain, they are all in agreement and they're like, okay, I want to do this. Because a blockchain is not about you, it's about every other person that is on the chain that helps your blockchain progress. So this needs to be consistent. What about partners and ecosystem? You need to explore partnerships, collaborations, and within the blockchain ecosystem, right? And everybody must also be aligned. Risks and limitations should also be thought about. You need to be able to evaluate your startup risk appetite and maintain strategies for blockchain related risks. Now, POC, proof of concept, pilots. Before jumping into the whole blockchain, you need to be able to also do like a test, right? You need to be able to test if this blockchain is for maybe that particular use case you fix, and if it fits, right? If it's something that you can scale, if it's something that the visibility and the functionality and even the viability into the market is looking positive. If it is not, then you know that blockchain is not for you. So you need to really think about that before thinking, oh, I like the idea of blockchain, I want to do it. But you need to be able to check, first test and see if this works for you. Then you need to also have a long-term strategy, develop a long-term plan, determine the scalability, the evolution, and the sustainability of the blockchain solution. Yeah. So what are the challenges today for adoption of the blockchain technologies? The adoption of blockchain technologies today, blockchain technologies faces today is the impact is quite large, right? And these are some of the key challenges. I'll just quickly speak to them, right? If you want to go through these challenges, addressing them requires collaboration among stakeholders, collaboration amongst everybody that is on your block, and making sure that you are able to bring in both technical, you're able to overcome rather both technical and non-technical hurdles, and also hurdles around even regulations. What is the regulatory body or the regulatory implication of the blockchain technology that you are going to be implementing in your environment? Those needs to be clear. The first challenge is scalability. Scalability means you want to expand, right? So, and the question is, the blockchain often faces scalability issues, especially if it's a public blockchain, right? Because as the number of transactions increases, you know, there are so many transactions happening. The network can experience delay and high transaction costs. So when you are thinking about going into a blockchain, you should start thinking around, okay, what is it going to look like for me as per cost? If I'm going to be expanding, how do I go around it, leveraging the blockchain? The second is interoperability. If there's a lack of interoperability between the different blockchain and platform protocols, these could actually hinder seamless exchange of data and assets across multiple areas around the chain, networks in the chain. Now we have regulation. I'm just going to quickly jump to regulation and compliance, which is very, very important, right? Like, as you already know, blockchain technology is universal, and every country has its legal implication and around the blockchain, regulatory implications around how blockchain should be done. So specifically, if there are so many things around compliance with data protection, anti-money laundering, know your customer, KYC, and these actually poses a lot of complexities in the blockchain space. The question you need to start asking yourself as a startup is, am I ready for this? After going through this, then you ask, okay, if I am ready, how do I start? So this could be a whole lot of challenges faced by fintechs, startups, and even businesses proud to, implementing the implementation of the blockchain technology in their space. Now we have something I've just quickly jumped to. Let me say, I'm going to jump to legacy system integration, right? And what does that simply mean? You need to be able to think around how you want to. So maybe, for example, you've been doing a lot of people. I'm going to use the A and B payment startup, for example. They've been doing a lot of finance transactions on that platform, and proud to the implementation of a blockchain technology to actually cover for that. So you know that you've been using an infrastructure before, a technology before. So the question is, how do I now implement, or how do I move or re-architecture what I've already been doing on top of where I was doing it before as a platform, which was a non-blockchain platform. But because I see the return and the return on investment, I have decided to move that solution into a blockchain technology. So that is a lot of work backend, a lot of technological, scoping, right, that you need to do to actually re-architect and redesign and move them on top of a blockchain technology. So that is also something that you need to also think around. And it's also a major challenge when you're thinking around adopting a blockchain technology. I might have been talking about the challenges so much. That doesn't mean that it can't work, but those are things that need to be considered before you even think around going into the blockchain technology. Now, how can businesses and startups leverage blockchain technology to drive maximum and rewarding results? I think I've said this before, but I'll just quickly run through it. You need to be able to identify the use cases, appropriate use cases that you want to use to implement the blockchain for. Not all use cases are good for a blockchain technology. A blockchain technology requires a lot of capital intensiveness. And if you're going to go into that, bringing in a lot of people, collaboration, that means that you should be ready to understand that. You should be able to do your own visibility studies, understand if that blockchain really, after you have been able to implement it, will give you the maximum returns that you need. So it's not everything that, oh, I can bring everybody in the value chain. That means I'm going to be making a large return on investment. It might not just be so. So you have your own work to do when you have to do that. The second is enhancing efficiency and cost reduction. Those are things that you need to start thinking about. Improving transparency and cost, enable business models. We have talked so much about security and privacy, fostering collaborations and partnerships, very important. Education and talent development, very key. I think this is a new one that is coming here. For anybody going into that blockchain technology and people that will be working for you or even managing that platform as a product, they need some form of education. They need some capacity building that needs to go into it, because the blockchain is not just a platform everybody can actually go into and start working on top of. So it is very, very important. And again, POC, proof of concept, and iterative development, very important. You need to be able to test it. You can start with a little, just to be sure if what you're going into or leveraging the blockchain for you can actually get to the results that you need. I'm going to be a little bit fast, as I know that my time is going to be up a bit soon. So these are some global industry use cases, and I've used some startup to actually position some of what things that I've been trying to say. We have a startup called BlockChain, and BlockChain basically they deal with. They're actually a blockchain platform that provides solutions to supply chain management. They allow some of the things that they've done basically is the blockchain that they've created allows businesses to track and verify the origin and quantity and authenticity of a product. So you have the guys around authenticity of any product, those that do that authentication, they are also found on the block. We have Ripple. Ripple is also a blockchain based payment protocol that enables fast and low-cost cross-border transactions for financial institutions, reducing settlement time and cost. So with Ripple, you can actually do a lot of multiple international transactions without having to go through a bank to actually initiate that transaction. Then in the medical line, we have healthcare line, we have the Medical Chain. Medical Chain is a startup that utilizes blockchain to store and share patient records securely. So if you recall, I spoke about blockchain and the fact that it helps you to store your information securely over the internet, right? And medical team has been able to leverage that to be able to help so many medical organizations to store their, records in the block. Now, we have Civic. Civic is also a startup that uses blockchain to create digital identities, allowing individuals to control and share their identity information, right? We have, from the energy sector, right, we have Power Ledger. Power Ledger is a blockchain-based energy trading platform that allows individuals and businesses to trade excess energy in a peer-to-peer manner. So you can actually trade energy on that platform if maybe you're an energy trader, and do so many things around energy and even energy adoption. On that blockchain platform, we have the players, all the players in that block, in the energy block, on the blockchain. So what that simply means is that I don't need to start looking for or going to an energy company to start doing that kind of trade. But on Power Ledger, I can easily do a lot of things, maybe as a buyer, maybe I buy and sell, or maybe as a trader, I'm trading and I have all those energy companies on the blockchain for me. Then we have Binded, right? They are into intellectual property rights, and it's also a startup that utilizes blockchain for copyright registration and also enabling creators to protect their digital content and manage license and monetization. These are some of the startups today that are using blockchain. Over my head, I'm thinking in Nigeria here today, what are some of the startups that have started leveraging the blockchain? I know that for one of the financial banks, financial institution, they actually leverage blockchain to drive and to deliver on securities, right? Securities and also their shares and how they are able to distribute properly amongst the owners and the users of SIM. So today we see a lot of that happening internally, because what is happening right now is that a lot of certain organizations in Nigeria, they are still doing that proof of concept aspect of things to be sure that this blockchain is actually what they need to do before actually pushing out for public and general availability usage. Now, how is AI today integrated into the blockchain landscape? As you already know, our doctor has said so many things about AI, so I'm not just going to talk about it, but I just want you to know that, like I said, AI is very important. Every point that I have here on my slides today, we've been doing it for years. So many smart contracts and contract and automation, right? Security and fraud detection has been happening. We have tools that have been doing that, or maybe data analytics. However, AI has come to stay. And what AI does is that it helps to facilitate smartness around the blockchain. So for example, we spoke about an organization or a startup around doing things. And let's look at our startup again. All these startups doing things around the blockchain. So imagine that they are integrating the artificial intelligence technology on top of all of those solutions. What you get will be massive. So I'm just quickly going to talk about the smart contract and automation. AI can facilitate the automation of smart contracts on the blockchain, and smart contracts could now move into a self-executing contract, right? So rather than, the system is able to pick intelligently that if a transaction around maybe a contract or maybe something around that space or a supply chain transaction has been done, it picks automatically that intelligently and is able to self-execute a contract without me having to say, you know what, I need to give Lillian, or I need to pay Lillian for a particular transaction she must have done. Smartly, AI goes through that whole processes and does it itself. If you recall, I was talking about everybody being in the blockchain and able to see the record. But what I can do is that for every step that is in the blockchain, I can automatically integrate it with artificial intelligence with some set of rules that says when Mr. A does a transaction, I don't need to be on that block physically, but the system should be able to pick it based on some of the questions and be able to complete that transaction within seconds. That's the power of artificial intelligence. Now, for the blockchain again, AI is also integrated and it also improves security. Like I said, we have the blockchain is secured, but it also improves security. I mean, the acts of these attackers and hackers, you cannot, as much as the blockchain is highly secured and very, strong and all that, we should not forget that hackers, every day, they're also improving as technology is also improving. So in this kind of situation, if AI is actually embedded in systems like blockchain and even around the security aspect of it, it improves security and is able to detect immediately when there is anything like fraud or a pattern around fraud is happening on that platform. So AI could help with that. Then we have enhanced data analytics. We have things around the machine learning and natural language processing that can be applied to analyze and extract valuable information around the block, right? This enables organizations on the blockchain to understand, to have an idea of what they can even do better, how they can provide even a better service to their clients or to within the block. Now, we have things around consensus and mechanisms, right? AI algorithms can be used to enhance consensus and consensus mechanisms in blockchain, right? AI, by incorporating AI into consensus protocols such as proof of stake or delegated proof of stake, blockchain networks can now achieve faster transaction, validation, increase scalability, improve energy efficiency. Everything is happening very fast because AI is already embedded in all this. Now, my fifth point here is decentralized AI applications, right? So how does AI integrate into blockchain around that space? Blockchain provides a decentralized and transparent infrastructure, as you already know. So if AI model is being deployed in this space, what it does is that it now helps to actually help to drive that decentralization, which the blockchain actually stands for. And nothing like someone is going in there and trampling with records, although it is not, but AI makes sure that all these capabilities are being achieved without even anyone having to go into that platform to edit, organize, or anything. Then around data privacy and ownership on the blockchain, AI can help to address data privacy risks and concerns around private communication and maybe blockchain networks. AI is fantastic. AI is the way to go. AI is a modern technology that integrates to all these our systems, even the blockchain, and also helps you to actually become more comfortable about you going or leveraging a blockchain technology. But like I will always say, if you are thinking around blockchain, what are the next steps for you? Do I really need to create a blockchain platform for my business? Am I ready? Is my startup mature or is my business mature for that level of technology? What about return on investment against what I'll be spending to actually build a blockchain platform? Do I have the right partnerships? Do I have the right collaboration on? Do I have even the whole chain? Have I been able to cover the whole chain? And do I have their consensus to be on that blockchain technology? If your answer is yes, then I think you can now start reviewing what to consider for success. And I think I've already spelled that out. And one of the things that are very important for me is the legal aspects, right? You need to be able to see the regulatory, what does regulation say about me going into a blockchain space for my own business as a startup, for my own business as a business, right? Now, if I've gone through all that and I've been able to achieve my goals around that, the next stage is now, okay, can I start small? You don't just go into blockchain because you think that, oh, you have gotten everything you need. The question is, can I start more? What about proof of concept? Can I pick up maybe a particular feature, a particular small set of chain and see how it works for me and my business? And if is it profitable? Then if your answer is yes, right? Then you can now move ahead. That's to the third step, which says identify what areas to leverage the blockchain technology to achieve maximum ROI. I'm sure by the time you do your POC, your proof of concept, you start understanding, okay, these are the areas I think I need to focus my attention on. This is what is going to bring in business for me, right? This is what is going to help me to increase my return on investment, reduce my cost to income, and even reduce expenses that I need to that I'm going to be covering around the blockchain. Then once you're done with that, you now start thinking around okay, how do I now integrate? How do I embed? How do I interplay or interoperate AI into the blockchain platform to achieve exponential growth? Those are the thoughts you now start thinking around. I want to say a big thank you for listening. And this is where I end my presentation. Thank you.
All right, well done, ma'am. Let us please, our celebrations go into the chat section right about now. Round of applause, your excitement emoji. Just let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Thank you so much, Mojisola Olawepo, for such an insightful time, helping us to understand what it really entails, in the blockchain technology, and also knowing how to navigate that aspect into our, into our businesses and all. Now, we have the questions already. We have questions, and I'm going to read out the questions that we have in the chat section. I really believe that we actually, got a lot of things from this session, right? If you did, please let the chat section be buzzing right about now. Let your hands be up. I can see that Oluwakin is really dancing. He's super excited. I can see that Abiola Odesoya is having the stars in her eyes, like she's literally in awe of what Mojisola has shared with us today. So moving on quickly to the questions that we have in the chat section. So it says that, are you saying blockchain is just used to remove intermediaries in the supply or delivery of a product or service? And then this, okay, so let me just take the two questions and then we can have, you be able to answer that. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
Okay, so the second question says that you should kindly advise if there's any application to digital supply chain in the Nigerian logistics industry. Thank you. So over to you, Mojisola.
Yeah, thank you so much. So for Abiola, I'm just going to quickly answer that question. Are we saying blockchain is just used to remove intermediaries in the supply or the product or services? No, I'm not saying that. Yes, it can help you to remove intermediaries, but it can also do more for you, right? You can actually, so for example, for a supply or delivery business, for example, you have a chain, right? And that chain consists of, you have a value chain, and your value chain consists of so many people. It could be maybe the delivery guys, the guys that are into supply, logistics, so many of them, right? So what the blockchain does is that you are bringing everybody into a particular space. Maybe today, for example, someone has to go to a particular, brick and mortar company that does that particular function. And the whole process of doing that takes like maybe 10 days or 20 days for you to achieve your goals. What happens in a blockchain is that because all the players are actually in that block, you can easily start a transaction and it ends within seconds after starting it, especially when you embed AI into that system. So what that does for you is that rather than going through all the stress of maybe going to maybe a supply company or a supply chain company, or going through maybe a manual process, or going to have to meet a retailer somewhere, you are able to start and complete a transaction in the blockchain, right? So what that simply does is that it eliminates the stress of those intermediaries. That's what I was just trying to say. That's not the only function of blockchain. There are so many things around that. It's actually big, and it's something I think maybe we can also go through and read more about. Now, I have another question, which is kindly advise if there's any application to digital supply chain in the Nigerian logistics. There are plenty, right? I will just speak to, let me see, inventory management, right? We have, okay, let me just give you examples of some of them. We have the track and trace, right? Digital supply chain solutions enable, this particular track and trace enables you to track and trace shipments, providing visibility into the movement of goods throughout the supply chain. And it also helps companies in Nigeria to monitor their inventory, optimize and route customer service by providing accurate information and shipment status, right? We also have things around inventory management. There are some blockchain that we have today that what they do is just inventory management. It brings everybody in that value chain around inventory management to help you to automate that process of inventory and also demand stocking and forecasting. There are so many of them, right? There's so many use cases. It's just a matter of you taking your time out today to go and find them. And if your organization basically wants to go into this particular type of business, like I said, you need to make sure that you have gotten it right. When you get everything right, do a POC, start small, and see how it works. If it works for you, if the return on investment is actually big for you, then I can tell you why. Go all out to do it, achieve your goals, and embed the AI technology systems to it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mojisola. Do we also have any more questions? Do we have any more questions? Somebody's asking if you can have access to the slides.
Yes, I will share it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Any more questions? All right, any more questions? Anyone else wants to, well, if you probably want to say something, just let me know. You can raise up your hand, but you have to just ask the questions in the chat box so that we don't have any disruptions whatsoever. All right, okay, thank you so much, Mojisola. Okay, somebody's asking another question. Okay, Oluwakin is saying that is most appreciated. So fantastic. I believe that all of our questions have been answered. And of course, we've learned a lot of things today. And one of the things that stood out for me in most of the things that Mojisola said is the power of partnership and collaboration, because you cannot use the blockchain technology alone. You have to work with people. You have to say, okay, we have to come together to build a particular ecosystem so that it can be much more effective. And I believe that, for all of the entrepreneurs right here on this call, we can always come together. And that's why we're part of the Association of African Startups, right? And which is why we can also create our own blockchain technology system in order to be able to attend to one another and collaborate, partner, and ensure that we are stronger together. All right, okay. And I believe that it's been really an amazing time with each and every one of us. But in a couple of minutes, we'll go on a quick 5-minute break, water break, stretch our legs, and ensure that we've been starting for, or rather we've been sitting for about 2 hours roughly. So please, in another 5 minutes, we'll be back, and that's at exactly 12:12. So please, by 12:12, let us ensure that we are back on the call. Please, let's ensure that we also come in on the call as well. Once again, it's still the Association of African Startups Tech Summit 2023, and it's been a delightful pleasure being the moderator for today. In case you're probably joining in the middle of the call, my name is Jadisola Adeodu, but I'm known as Lady Jade. Okay, so we can go on a quick break now, a water break, and stretch our legs, yeah, and then by 12:12, we would kickstart with the second set of speakers. Thank you. Okay, I can see that it is 12:30 already. Okay, tell a friend to tell another co-entrepreneur that we are back for the second phase of the summit. Okay, so please let us, if you know that you're live, you can just engage in the chat section because we're about to get this party started. All right. Okay, so tell a friend to tell a friend. You know anyone that's supposed to be on the call that's not yet on the call, please do also just send a message and say, oh, we've started. Send them a text. You can call them, make sure that you're muting your mic whilst you're doing that. But just make sure you tell someone that, oh, we've started, we are now back, we are now live. Okay, all right. And once again, my name is Jadesola Adewodu. From Nigeria. So I mean, I think we should do that because I know that a lot of us came in whilst Mrs. Joshua Ibe was speaking. So please, I mean, for those of you that have waited till now, thank you so much. It's really, really, delightful to see people who stay through to the end for, a virtual event because it can really be a lot. But thank you so much for staying. So please, can you introduce yourself again in the chat section? Just let us know your name, where you're from, yes, where you're connecting from, right? And of course, what you've learned so far, basically. So let us engage the chat section now. Your name, where you're watching for, where you're participating from, and of course, what you've learned so far. Let's make that quickly. Let's quickly engage the chat box now. All right. So let us just chat. Well, I'm going to start with myself. Okay, I'm going to start myself. My name, like I said earlier, my name is Jadesola Adewodu, the moderator for today from Nigeria. And of course, I'm also known as Lady Jade as well. And, just having to understand the power of collaboration in blockchain technology and also knowing that AI is a tool to help me to be effective, even as an entrepreneur, even though it will replace some jobs, but, people are going to operate this machine, just in the case of what she described with machine learning. People are still going to use machines, but at the same time you have to be savvy with all of the AI that is happening all around you. So you can quickly go to the chat section and of course engage. Tell us your name, where you are connecting with us from, and of course what you learned so far. I know that earlier we met Oluwakin from Scotland, so please let us know what you've learned so far. And of course, one of our speakers, Sheyi Ogebule, was really, really phenomenal, gave quite an interesting conversation, on AI and the benefits thereof. Okay, so let us quickly engage the chat box. And if you know that there's someone that needs to be here and is not here, let us make sure that, we engage them, we tell them, okay, hello friend, you need to be here right about now. Hello friend, we've started, we are back on track, we're about to get, really get really interested. Now, a couple of things actually stood out for me, right? Even as I began to understand that, because again, just like one of the concerns that Shay raised, right? Dr. Shay Ogebule, she raised and she made us understand a lot of people are really worried about, AI taking on their jobs. But I believe that all of the entrepreneurs that have been on this call so far, they know better that, okay, it's not going to take my job, but if I'm able to evaluate, I can start small, but able to evaluate what part of my operations need to be aided with AI to just make my business more effective. I mean, in the place of, customer relations, okay, what if I'm not available at that moment, or because of time difference, having customers across Africa, just knowing that, okay, my customers, even though the time difference might be there, but knowing that my customers, wherever they might be in the world, they are catered to, they know that I care, or my business cares about their needs, and they're able to effectively meet their needs too. And of course, in the case of the blockchain technology, knowing that, I need to work with people, I need to collaborate, and just knowing that, okay, once we get intermediaries out of the way, I can also directly deal with the people that need my product or service. Okay, or let us also ensure that we engage the comment section. Of course, if there's either a WhatsApp group that needs to be, allowed to say, oh, we've started, we're about to go into the second phase of the association of pardon please, the Association of African Startups Tech Summit is really important that, we get our friends, our co-entrepreneurs, let them know that, okay, we've started already. It's about to get pretty interesting. And of course, in a couple of minutes, I'll be bringing up someone very, very important. I mean, she's really been on the call and ensuring, doing all the back end work, ensuring that everything goes on smoothly and fun and okay, and ensuring that our speakers are right on time. And in case you're just coming in, welcome once again to the Association of African Startups Tech Summit 2023. And I mean, I will not get tired of saying this. My name is Jadisola Adeodo, the moderator for today. I'm also called Lady Jade, and of course, ensuring that you have a phenomenal time today. I would like to, I don't know if Ludmila is on the call. Can you please unmute your mic, Ludmila? Are you there? Ludmila, are you there? Okay. Oluwaki, please, are you still on the call? Just to be sure that we are just right there, because I'd like to just know, okay, the things that we've learned, just to engage us and to just understand, okay, this is what I've learned so far, and this is what I'm going to be putting into practice moving forward, from this tech summit today. Okay, all right. Oluwaki, please, can you please unmute your mic, please? I would like to hear your voice and just, thank you for staying through, and thank you for, so let us know, introduce yourself and just let us know what you've learned so far and how you're going to apply that to your business moving forward.
Okay, well, that's an interesting one. Like I said, when we got started, I'm always a silent partner in this project. I keep chasing Madame left, right, and center on Instagram and seeing all the lovely and wonderful things that she's doing on YouTube. Great, kudos. Well, for me, this has been a very good and educative, forum. I would say every minute spent here has always been value add. Like I did say, I'm just hiding my head here in Scotland. But of course, I still do quite a great deal of engagement and collaboration. And of course, the things I've picked on today, particularly from the first two speakers, they've been quite mind-blowing. Also because I am very passionate about information technology and innovation in that space. And of course, it's also given me greater appetite for the blockchain technology and the greater things that can be done or should be done within that space, which is why I asked that questions on the logistics side of things. So I'm here.
Fantastic. I'm really glad that you've actually found the summit insightful so far. So Joy Maduka, thank you so much. You can please mute your mic now. Thank you. Is Joy Maduka on the call? Hi, Joy Maduka, are you there? You can just let me know in the chat section if you're there, so that we can get on with the conversation. Because I mean, one thing I really believe is when you can hear from people that are listening to you, because I understand that it's a virtual call, and just letting everybody know that, okay, we see you, and then we also would love to hear from you, which is very, very important to us right here at the Association of African Startups Summit. All right, okay. Oluwakorede Eshimomo, I really hope that I got that correctly. Oluwakorede, please, are you on the call? Let me know so that I can really hear from you and let us know how it has been for you so far, what you've learned from the summit, and how you intend to apply it to your business. All right, is Oluwakorede on the call? I'm going to ask you to unmute my, maybe it's just trying to find, hopefully if you see the notification, you'll be able to do that. Or there's Obruchi, because I realized that Obruchi has been going on and off, trying to put on and off his or her mic. I don't know if Obruchi is a she or a he right now. Please pardon me. But Obruchi, would you like to say something to us? Let us know how the experience has been for you so far, listening to the speakers that are spoken, and just having a better understanding of AI and blockchain technology. All right, Obruchi, let me ask you to unmute. Maybe that would really help. Okay, I think I sent a notification. Hopefully, Obruchi should be able to get it. although there's some of us that don't like being put on the spot. Apologies, but I mean, it's just really important for us to hear from you and just be able to, feel your pulse on the event today. All right, so I've asked the Butcher to unmute. So Butcher, you can like to, let us know what you think and how you feel. And of course, your new understanding of AI and blockchain technology. Is a Butcher there with us? Okay, let me move on quickly to Celestine. Celestine, are you there? I really hope that Celestine is there. Please don't leave me hanging. I mean, I'd like to hear your lovely voices, because you've been hearing my voice and a lot of the speakers all day. So it's really lovely to hear your voices as well. Okay, so Celestine, are you there? And if it would be really good if you also would like to speak as well, you can also, signify by, raising your hand too. Okay, so Celestine, are you there? Nobody wants to unmute their mic. Why? Oh my goodness. Anyways, thank you so much, Oluwakin, for letting us, understand. Oh, okay, only just joining. Okay, hi, Celestine. Okay, thank you so much for your message on the call. Okay, it's fantastic, and I really believe that you'll be able to watch. There's a replay on YouTube, and in case you're not aware, we're actually live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube at the moment on the Association of African Startups YouTube page right about now, and of course you'll be able to get a replay. So Celestine, don't worry, we got you covered. You are safe and you're in good hands. You'll be able to watch the replay on YouTube after the call is ended. All right, and because I believe that Ludmila, fantastic. Thank you so much, Celestine. I know that Ludmila has been on the call from the beginning, and I really would love to hear from Ludmila though, and also Joy Maduka as well, because she was really engaging in the chat section. And I've also noticed that Oluwakorede has been on from the very beginning. So do let me know. I really am interested in hearing from you ladies, to just know, okay, this is how I feel, this is what I know, this is what I now know better now. And of course, it is still the Association of African Startup Tech Summit, and just having to understand the dynamics. Okay, Michelle Bello is back with us on the call. Hello, Michelle Bello, how are you doing? Welcome back. We have been expecting that you will come and join us, and we are glad to have you back. Michelle, can you please unmute your mic? Okay, let me ask you to unmute, because I know that, okay, I don't know if you got the notification. So Michelle, can you unmute your mic now?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Michelle. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So I noticed that you came in, in the course of the conversation, I think while Dr. Shea was speaking. So I would like to know where you are connecting with us from, and of course, what you've learned so far, your new understanding of AI and blockchain technology. I mean, we'd like to feel your energy on the call. So let's go.
Okay. Yeah, it's been an amazing, insightful experience. As you know, the speakers were talking, I was just getting ideas, because I'm mainly in the media and entertainment industry. So I'm like, how can we now start using blockchain, in this space? So it's just giving me a lot of ideas and just opening up a whole new world. And how to start implementing it in my company, and then for the industry at large. So I'm very excited to be here and to continue to learn more.
Okay, so when you say company, what company, what's the name of your company, and what do you do?
So my company is Blue Star Entertainment. It's a media and entertainment company based in Nigeria. So we produce movies. Two of my films you can see on Netflix. Flower Girl and Before Valentine. They're both #1 and award-winning films around the world. So you can check that out. So yeah, we create movies, TV shows, a lot of entertainment, online content, as well as corporate videos and commercials and social media videos. So that's what we do for that company.
Okay, fantastic. So I mean, entrepreneurs right here, if you like to make sure that your business goes viral, Michelle is your go-to person. I mean, she understands what advertising is and does your jingles and all of that. So if you really need your organization to go all over the world, to go all over Africa, I believe that you need to connect with Michelle whether you like it or you like it. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle, for speaking with us today on the call. All right, okay. Now, I mean, and this is why it's really, really important that, you know, we connect and we hear ourselves, because you never can tell, you know, who is going to be the next person to really help you to take your business to the next level. Because again, but one of the strong points in blockchain technology, collaboration, partnership, and which is why I'm really encouraging each and every one of us, you know, when you get a chance to, please speak up, let us know, let us hear and feel from you as well. So I want to believe that Ludmila is on the call right now, or is she very short? You want to say anything whatsoever? All right, are you there, Ludmila? I really would love to hear your voice, because I want to believe that you have a very lovely voice. Or Olua Korede or Joy Maduka. Nonso, are you there on the call? Because I believe that you actually joined in whilst Dr. Sheyi was speaking as well. Would you like to say something? You can tell us on the chat section, so that, you know, because in a couple of minutes, we'll be hearing from the CEO of the Association of African Startups very shortly. She'll be speaking in a couple of minutes, because we need to understand that there are also some tools. Now, in as much as we've learned all these things that we have, there's some tools that we need to buy into. There's some products that would also help us. And thankfully, our speakers have been very, you know, generous enough to share their slides with us. So hopefully, even as we're watching the replay on YouTube, we'll be able to, you know, gain ground to understand, okay, this is what I need to add on. And just like what Michelle said, whilst she was listening to the speakers, you had a lot of ideas, right? A lot of ideas, just helping her to, you know, understand, you know, okay, this is what I can do. Okay, this is what I can do. Because, and this, which is really important as to why this tech summit was put together. All right, okay, so does not someone to speak to us? And if you can, if you know any other person that was on the call earlier, and, you know, you probably know them personally, you can as well send them a message or a text, let them know that, oh, okay, we started, we are back on the call, and we want to connect with each and every one of us as well. Omotunde Badiru, are you there? Can you hear us? Omotunde, can you hear us? You can just respond in the chat section, okay? Omotunde, can you hear us? I can see that you're trying to connect your audio. All right. Okay, so let's just, you know, cross our fingers and hope that Omotunde will be able to connect on the call. Yes, of course, it is still the Association of African Startups. All right, so Omotunde Badiru, can you hear us yet? I think it's not yet on. Okay, right. So I guess once again, we're still at the Tech Summit of the Association of the African Startups, and of course put together by the president, who is Mrs. Jocelyn Momo Ibe. And of course, we have amazing partners with us on this. We have our, and I would like to give a quick shout out to our partners who have, you know, partners with the Association of African Startups for this summit to take place. We have the O3 Advisory, we have Boundless P, and of course, Mojisala Olawepo, and that's one of our speakers who are partners with us at the Association of African Startups to ensure that this summit is live and running. So Motunde Badiru, can you hear me? You can unmute your mic, don't worry. You can unmute your mic. I permit you to unmute your mic. So you can unmute your mic, Motunde. Are you there? Motunde, don't be shy. We've been waiting for you, and now that you're here, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your love. Oh, you're in a very busy place. Okay, thank you for the quick announcement and making it really short. Thank you so much. But you can type. I really hope that even if you cannot speak, you can type. So Motunde, let us know where you are connecting with us from, and of course, let us know what, you know, how the experience has been for you so far, you know, with the two speakers who have spoken, and of course, how the Tech Summit has been for you so much. So I'll be waiting for you to read from you in the chat. It's fine. I totally understand that you give us that very quick, and, you know, in a matter of seconds, I understand that you're in a noisy environment, but I believe that you can still chat, okay, because I can actually see your response in the chat section. So please, Omotunde, do let us know. You can also tell us what you do as well, because again, in as much as we're on this call, we're also here to network, because it's very, very important, you know, because, I mean, this, which is really interesting for me, in as much as I'm an event host and a moderator and also a voiceover talent, I love to meet people. I love to be in places where I get to connect, learn from people, rather, to get to understand how they think, how they see life, and their perspectives in general. So please, Motunde, I really believe that you can, you know, type a message for us. Same, so I haven't forgotten you. Joy Maduka, I'm still going to come back to you. So just, type. If it's, I'm okay with you not wanted to talk at this moment, but you can type to let us know, okay, this is what you do, this is where you're connecting from, and of course, this is what you have learned so far on the call. Okay, so Omotunde Badiru is a pharmacist and a health and wellness coach. Okay, nice to meet you, Omotunde Badiru. I mean, so which is really important now for as entrepreneurs, it's important for us to take our health as priority. Okay, it's really, really important. And I'm sure that's why Omotunde has been able to come to join us on this tech summit for this morning. So let us know, in a few words, how you feel that the experience has been so far, and what you understand better with AI and of course blockchain technology. Okay, all right. So also you can also, I'm sure that if you can hear me, you can type as well. If you're not willing to talk, or if where you are is really noisy, you can just type and say, okay, my name is Nonso, your surname, and then of course this is what you do, and this has been the experience whatsoever. And once again, to celebrate our partners who have been a part of this tech summit, Boundless Pay, O3 Advisory, and of course Mojisola Olawepo, thank you for partnering with the Association of African Startups. Thank you so much, and we really, really, truly appreciate it as well. So Oluwakorede, please do well to, you can type in the chat section as well. Tell us your name, where you're connecting with us from, and of course what you do, because it's really, really important that we connect with one another. And I mean, these startups is majority of us are entrepreneurs, wanted to understand and navigate our ways, through the changing the dynamics of the new technology in the space. All right, okay. Now moving on quickly, in a couple of minutes, I'll bring up the COO of the Association of African Startups to let us know the things, the products that are up for purchase, courtesy of the Association of the African Startups rather. Okay. Okay, right. I'm having to get some messages on the background. All right, so Omotunde Badiru has given quite a Oh, Joy Maduka finally responded. Yay! Okay, thank you so much, Joy Maduka, for not leaving me hanging. Okay, so Joy Maduka is a specialist community health practitioner. Oh, you're driving. Thank you so much. Bless your heart, Joy Maduka. Thank you so much. Okay, so Joy Maduka is a specialist community health practitioner, and she's present for the AI teaching, and it has been insightful so far. And she's really grateful to the Association of African Startups. Thank you for putting this together. Thank you so much. Oh my God, that's a lot of multitasking, Joy. I'm so thumbs up to you. Thumbs up to you. Well done. And well done to you. Okay, I mean, which is really, really, really important. I mean, just like Michelle, who is in the media and entertainment space, having to understand, okay, how can AI be used effectively in her space as a media person, as someone that's ensuring that people's brand messages go out there in terms of producing adverts and jingles and all of that, and also creating movies. I mean, we could also infuse AI in our storytelling, because I mean, I do a bit of storytelling as well, understanding, okay, so how do I navigate this, and how do I infuse that in the story, how we can infuse AI in our everyday life. It can be put into a comic, it can be put into a short film. I mean, Michelle, you need to pay me for this, these tidbits that I'm dropping. All right, okay. So thank you so much, Joy Maduka, for being generous and letting us know the situation of things where you are. All right, so Oluwakorede, I will never let you go until you send me a message in the chat box. And of course, Ludmila, I really would love to hear from you as well. Celestine, don't worry, you're still in for a treat. And of course, the replay on YouTube will be made available to each and every one of us. And of course, so I do believe that you've been able to learn a couple of things from today's session. And of course, Omotunde, our pharmacist and wellness coach, thank you for staying true regardless of the noise all around you. I mean, that's another level of multitasking as well. Thank you so much, Omotunde Badiru. Okay, so now please give me a couple of seconds. So we'll go on a quick break for 5 minutes, and by 1, Abiola Odusoya, who is the COO of the Association of African Startups, would be addressing us, speaking to us, and letting us know about a lot of things about the Association of African Startups. Right? Thank you so much, everyone, for being amazing, for being an amazing audience as well. In 5 minutes, I'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Thank you. All right, welcome back. Okay, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been super duper amazing. And of course, I have the beautiful Abiola Odesoya with us. She is the COO of the Association of African Startups. And of course, I mean, she's one of the people that have been backstage, ensure that everything is going on smooth and fine. You know, just to say, Lady J, what's going on? What's okay, all right, we can continue, we can do this, we cannot do this, let's slow down, let's take it up a notch. So please, if your hands are not busy, please engage the chat section, which is very important. Please, as I bring up Abiola Odesoya as she speaks right about now. Good to have you on the call, Abiola.
Thank you very much, Lady Jade. It's so wonderful to be here. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Like she earlier said, my name is Abiola Odesoya, and I'm the CEO for the Association of African Startups. And we have a mixed audience today. We have more of Tashans and some other people because we made this event public and open to all. So here I'm just going to quickly introduce and really tell you what the Association of African Startups stands for and what it signifies. The Association of African Startups is an association of startups in Africa. What we want to do with this association is to have like a safe haven for startups, like to be able to learn from one another, be able to network, and be able to grow and build sustainable businesses. And this is why one of the key ways we train startups in tasks is to give resources. We give a lot of resources. So on our social media page, like Mr. Kim said, it's always we are doing one thing or the other, one thing or the other. If you go through our social media pages, it seems more like we all just do programs and programs and programs. So what we do at the Association of African Startups is, like I said earlier, is to give programs to help startups. So we have different programs aimed at different things. Like one of it now we have here is the Task Tech Summit. Our summit is just to help entrepreneurs be able to understand technology, to be able to use technology to advance their business. We have the Task Symposium, where we teach African entrepreneurs. We bring a particular topic, we teach African entrepreneurs how to use that, how to be able to solve economic problems through their businesses. That summit, that program is just dedicated for that. Most importantly, we have our our boot camp, which happens yearly, where we bring a particular topic that we treat for 12 months. And then what we do is each month we have a different module to be able to help you understand so many aspects of businesses. Like this year, for instance, our focus on this year was to teach entrepreneurs how to be full-fledged entrepreneurs. We noticed that most people just go into business because they feel it's the right thing to do. This is what I need to do now, but nobody has really taught people how to be entrepreneurs. So what we did is we looked at core areas where people like entrepreneurs need to be able to actually be full-fledged entrepreneurs, and broke it into modules and began teaching entrepreneurs. So we do it module by module, like I said earlier. And next month we are having another module. Another thing again we do in TASK is our business conversation, which is mostly on our YouTube channel at TASK Africa, where we talk about business. We just have conversations generally. And one thing we are going to do now, we are thinking of doing, is to bring a problem to our entrepreneurs and ask them to think about it and bring solutions. And I don't think most organizations out there will do that. What we want to do is to be able to bring out thought leaders. We are very intentional about, thank you very much. We're very intentional about the work we do. Like we would always say, our greatest desire is to serve African entrepreneurs. It is not about accolades. It is not about people applauding us. It's about what we produce. So what we want to do is bring a problem or an economic problem, for example, and break it down based on people's expertise, based on people's specialties. Okay, come, think. How can you solve this problem? How would you be able to handle this? If this is pushed to you, how would you be able to handle this? And we don't just leave them alone to come and talk. What we do is, at the back end, if you need any issues, being able to articulate what you want to say, let us know. And another thing again we do in TASK is that we mix our startups, like for speaking engagements, we move them into different, we move them into most of our programs so that you'll be able to speak. Because we've also noticed that when it comes to collaboration and giving entrepreneurs or startups opportunities for speaking engagements, most times, most people would not give you based on how your portfolio is or how it has grown. So what we do is, if you know this particular thing and we know you can, because we would monitor you first before we give you that opportunity, please come and talk. Let us merge you with industry giants. Also speak so that people will be able to know, and at the same time, you build your portfolio like that. Like I said, what we do at the Association of African Startups is to serve. We are very, very particular about service. We are very particular about making our entrepreneurs dominate. And to be part of us is not tedious at all, because we have two types of membership going on currently. We have the basic membership. Everything I've listed so far, a basic member can get it, which is free, extremely free. And then we have the VIP membership, where they get everything that I've been saying to you, and they also get quarterly mentorship from about their businesses, quarterly mentorships. They also get discounts on some specific events that we hold currently all through the year. And year in, year out, TAS releases programs, releases resources. Like I said, one of the ways we want to equip African entrepreneurs is through resources, and not just resources that will stand the test of time. So it's not resources that in next 2 to 3 years is outdated. We want something that is broad, something that when you sit down and you go over it, you could always pick up something. And I'm so glad that people that joined this call today were able to get something. It gladdens our hearts when people join our programs and be able to get something to be able to do. The most important thing is to be able to action what you are going to do, because we could keep telling you this is what is obtainable, this is not what to do, and if you don't apply it, it's more like it is just being a waste, if I would say so. So we're very happy. And one thing again we do is, when we ask people to, like our moderator was asking people to explain or give introduce themselves, like one of our faculty members, Vusi Kwayo, would always say, every time you're given an opportunity to talk, please use the opportunity to talk. You don't know who is on the call. There are so many people on the call that are quiet, and I'm telling you that they are giants in specific industries. And the thing is, the ones that we know, because like I would always say that people are giants, is the way you're able to brand yourself, or the way you're able to speak out in events like this, that people will be able to know you. So talk. You never know who needs what particular business, what particular idea, who needs to collaborate with you, who needs your services to do a particular thing. So when you have an opportunity to always talk, please talk. And don't be shy about what your business is trying to achieve. We will tell you in TAS that those crazy ideas that people will tell you is not obtainable, it does not look like it will work. We'll tell you that those are the things that fascinate us the most in TAS. Because if somebody will have told, if Mrs. Just will have, that's our president, will have told people that she wants to help rebuild African entrepreneurs through startups, it would probably look like, oh, she's joking, or she doesn't know what she's saying. And 3 years down the line, she's doing it, and we're still standing strong, right? So if you have ideas that it seems like people don't really get it, I'm trying to tell you now today that at TAS will get it. You just need to talk to us. Just talk to us, let people know. It's a community, like I said, an intentional community. I would say this, that TAS is for every African entrepreneur, but it's not for every African entrepreneur, because it's for specific people. And then what we do again is that all our resources, we sell them at a subsidized amount at our TAS Business Institute. So I'll try and post the link now. I hope I have the link here with me. Yes, so that's the link. that is the link. You could always check for our courses. Like our first year, we studied the rudiments of businesses. We brought out basic things that we know, marketing, structuring, accounting, all those basic things that we know to run the business, and reintroduce it to us. You know, the thing with giving people knowledge is you have to start first on a familiar level, what they know. So we reintroduce that. In our second year, we took it up a notch by breaking it sector by sector, where we took 12 sectors and taught entrepreneurs how to dominate and profit that sector. We brought in various speakers from across Africa to be able to do that. And this year, like I said, we are teaching people how to be full-fledged entrepreneurs. And next year we have something extremely beautiful planned already. And this is something that you would not want to miss. So we ask that you would join TAS. The registration to join TAS is www.tasafrica.org/registration. That's for the free version. And if you want the VIP, you could also you could also check the link in our bio. I really don't know that link now, and I don't have access to it now, but you could also check our Instagram page to know which of them fits you and which of them suits you. So I want to say a very, very big thank you for being part of this summit. And on behalf of the speakers that were not able to join, I want to sincerely apologize. Hopefully we'll be able to get a recording of their sessions and bring it out. Most times these things happen that is beyond our control, and as an association, we seriously apologize, because time is something that we don't we take very seriously at TAS. And so we apologize. I'm apologizing again, because there has to be no excuse other than an apology, a sincere apology. Hopefully we'll be able to get their sessions and make the recording available to all. The recording is for free. Everybody can access the recording. So on behalf of the Association of African Startups, I want to thank our partners for making this year's Tech Summit a success. I also want to appreciate our speakers for their excellent presentation and delivery on artificial intelligence and blockchain technology. It was extremely simplified for an average African to grasp and implement. Finally, I would want to appreciate our participants for their contribution. It's our greatest desire that they found this event valuable and learned a lot. Then till next year, when we gather again to learn technological innovations needed for business acumen, I would say thank you very much.
Right, thank you so much, Abiola Odesoya. And of course, we call it a day. Thank you so much. And it's been such an insightful time, you know, speaking to us, moderating to this event. Once again, my name is Jadesola Adewodu. I'm an event host, moderator, and of course, a voice of talent. And you can connect with us. You can connect with us online on TASA Africa, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and of course on Facebook. But of course, you can connect with me on every social media platform at Jadesola Adewodu, or just type in Lady Jade Global. Yes, I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course Facebook. Thank you so much once again. Have for yourself an amazing rest of today. You can all, leave right now. Thank you so much for joining. Enjoy. Bye for now.